Same Lions hat as last night. That's his favorite.
One pride worldwide.
I was going to say, I thought we were about to have a U2 lyric here.
In the name of love.
In the name of love.
One pride.
In the name of Terry and Arnold.
Wow.
What a pick.
One more player on the way to the Super Bowl. Everybody. And then the chorus could be,
Wow. When are we going to start the show so this ends?
Imagine what Kirk Cousins feels. Kirk Cousins feels. He's got a pain in the pennix. A pain in the pennix.
That video of the GM and Arthur Blank is fantastic. Arthur Blank walking there, I'm like, what in the hell did you guys just do? I just spent $100 million on this guy, and you drafted a quarterback.
Don't you think he walked in and he said, I effing didn't hire Belichick for you people, and this is how you repay me?
You know what? That's a great point. God, my wife yelled at me. Are you up yet? What the hell?
Shut up and turn off the TVs, okay?
Today is a very, very special circumstance.
A very special blossom? What?
It is a very special blossom. And Powers Johnson's still on the board, right?
He is.
And Cooper's
Kool-Aid.
And so's Kool-Aid, and so's Johnny Newton.
Yep.
All right, let me shut some doors.
Same. You know, you never do think about, like, how big of a difference it actually is to go in the second, like, to drop to the second round.
This is just now hitting you?
No, I mean, I think fans oftentimes don't realize.
Ow. Just ran into the door.
Okay. Look alive, everybody. Here we go.
Oh, shut up.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
After we did 8 hours of live broadcasting yesterday, we are right back at it. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. First round in the books. Plenty of surprises. 32 offensive players taken. Oh, boy, it felt that way. My goodness. So how you holding up there, big fella?
I've got to be honest with you. I'm a little tired. I'm a little hungover. And more than anything, I attempted to sleep a little later. And my wife, who shut off all the televisions in the living room last night, gives me the, are you getting up? Yeah, I'm getting up. I'll get up when I damn well please.
I don't know if you're aware, honey, but we were on the air till 11:54 p.m. Just trying to get a 10, 12, 13 extra minutes of sleep here.
I need a boost. I need a sprinkle. Something.
Don't we all? Don't we all? So in one sense, the madness happened. 6 quarterbacks in the top 12. Hoo-ah! That's just crazy. That's nuts. Got the 1983 draft going. Hey, guys, chill out. Man, these guys can't all be good, you know. But what, only 6 trades? think we had 6 trades, and that includes 3 really late. But we had Minnesota make 2. We had Buffalo make 2. I guess we only had 5 trades, right?
I know it was an under. I know your number was 6.5. I went under. And for a change, I won a bet.
5 trades. 2 by Minnesota as they moved up twice. 2 by Buffalo as they moved down twice. And then Detroit moved up. And I'll tell you what, when the host city has 1 draft pick in the first round and they trade up and make it, that's how you empty a bar. I mean, a city. They were just like, okay, this was fun. We're done. We gone.
Yeah, they went Hawk Harrelson last night after that pick.
They did.
They were so impressed with their general manager moving up, getting a corner. That's what they needed. That's what they wanted. They ended up getting the second best corner in the draft. So it was a win for the Lions on all accounts, and they emptied the place. 150,000 people went right to the casino.
Boom. Exactly. Like, you might as well get a little gambling. Traffic's going to be tough for a while, so I might as well make the best use of this. Plus, there's food in here. So, but hope you joined us on Twitch for parts of last night. We do it every year. First round of the NFL draft. We broadcast it live. There's a little alcohol consumed, not going to lie. Mark went to the hard stuff, the earliest he's ever gone. Right after Bo Nix was taken by Denver, Mark said, yeah, I'm switching to, was it bourbon?
Bourbon. Sampled 3 bourbons last night. They were wonderful. And I had cover. Unlike many years when it's just Miller and Moulton. And if I get hooked on phonics, it's very apparent that Miller's a mess. I had cover last night. That cover was Trent Bally.
Trent, how we doing this morning?
I'm great. What can I tell you?
Trent's still drunk.
Draft was in Detroit. Detroit looked gorgeous.
Oh, my goodness. If you didn't join us last night, every 30 to 40 minutes, that's what Trent would lean into the microphone and say. Doesn't Detroit look great? And midway through the draft, that's exactly how it sounded, too. It's like, oh, my goodness. He just got pulled over by the cops, and he said, Ossifer, what seems to be the problem? Oh, yeah.
I had a lot of fun last night, I got to tell you.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did, Trent.
Yes, you did. And the other thing, Mark, where Trent bailed you out is, see, when Mark would get hooked on phonics in the past in our draft show, then I would say, hey, listen, Buffalo's on the clock here, and they got this and that, and they got 2 4s, 3 5s, and 2 6s.
And I would have said Brian Thomas Jr. is the guy they should pick, even though he had gone 7 picks prior.
Right. So Trent assumed that role last night, in which on numerous occasions, one of us would say, hey, just to let you know, this is what so-and-so has and what they need. And within 3 to 7 minutes, Trent would go, the Bills have like 2 4s, 3 5s, and 2 6s. Yes, they.
In fact, we just said that.
Huh.
Well, one time I asked who had what capital, and I didn't even know who was on the clock. And then David was like,
we just went through that. At which point Trent just leaned back in his chair and said, let me reach down and grab that black velvet. And then he was singing last night, and I was surprised, Mark, that at no point in time did he start singing Black Velvet. I thought we were going to get a rendition of it. Yep.
No chance.
Trent is ready to hit the streets in Naples, Florida. We've learned that.
Yep. Trent,
his dating pool goes somewhere from the age of 25 to 64.
Don't know what he's doing, wasting his time with this to-be nurse in her mid-20s. Why would do that? Apparently, Trent is he's somewhere between Zach Wilson's mom and Cher. That's apparently his, prime dating pool. We found that out last night.
That's the sweet spot, huh?
It's the sweet spot.
Yes.
So last night was interesting. Has anyone figured out Atlanta yet?
If Kirk Cousins, and I don't know. I mean, I've watched him on the quarterback show, I know Kirk's a very God-fearing man, so I don't know how much Kirk drinks.
Right.
He drank last night, and he drank a lot. Signs a new deal with the Falcons.
4 years, about $160, right? $180, something like that. $100 million of it guaranteed, which is basically 2 years and a smidge.
And a sprinkle.
And a sprinkle. 2 years and a sprinkle. Right, is how much of it's guaranteed. And Kirk, excuse me, was thinking he was going to, probably play 4 years in Atlanta. And the Falcons last night basically said, yeah, Kirk, you've got 2. You've got 2. Enjoy 24 and 25, and then we're moving on.
Video of Arthur Blank walking into the Falcons war room last night is priceless.
Don't you think Arthur Blank walked in a war room and said, what the is going on out there? It was like Lombardi on the sidelines against the Rams. Don't you think he also then said, I didn't hire Belichick for you morons. And this is how you repay me? Golly. I'm going to call Bill and see if he's available. I can fire all of you.
The Bills need a receiver. They trade out of the first round twice. The Falcons don't need a quarterback. They draft one.
Mark, making the Bills even a little more confounding, although the Bills can make up for it. Atlanta seemingly can't. Mark, not only did the Bills need a receiver in this receiver-rich draft, and they were on the clock twice, 28 and 32, they traded with teams who then took a receiver. Why would you help the Chiefs if you're the Bills? Anyone? Bueller?
You've lost to them in the postseason. How many times, David, in the last 5 years?
Between the Chiefs and the Bengals, you've got a problem. They've got your number. But why would you help Mahomes when they have the same need as you, so you help them fill it? What? I don't get it. I don't. Got a few extra picks.
But Detroit looked gorgeous last night, David. That's the key to the show.
Look at Woodward Ave. Look at Campus Martius. Just gorgeous. All lit up.
Words that have not been said since 1956.
Exactly. Oh, look at the Etzel. Man, is it beautiful going down the roadway. So Atlanta and Buffalo are a bit of head scratchers. So the Dolphins are doing the chop. Doing the chop. I'm not a fan.
I know you're not.
Not a fan. Not a fan. Dolphins don't need potential. Dolphins need production.
And furthermore, to take your point one step a little deeper, David, they're going to get their defense back midway through the year. They needed a plug and play for now. They didn't need a guy that by week 15 may have figured out what the NFL is all about. It is a very strange pick, to say the least, by the Miami Dolphins.
I would have been happier if they took wide receiver Brian Thomas, even though you'd go, wait a minute, but they're moving on from Tyreek in a year. All right. And besides, they've got 2 tremendous wide receivers. Don't have much after that.
I'd have been happy if they'd have gone Powers Johnson,
who's still available. Bills are on the clock. Lots of rumors out there about the Bills and the Niners. Because the Niners have a couple of wide receivers, and, they want them. They don't want them. They can afford them. They can't afford them. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk demanded a trade. Niners said, hey, now, take it easy. Deebo's going to start making real money. Niners are like, we got a lot of guys making real money. I don't know if we can do this. So you wonder if the Niners and the Bills are working on something here. Niners say, we'll give you Ayuk. You give us the first pick of the second round. What do you say?
That's about the only reason I could see why the Bills would do business with the Chiefs, David, if you're correct.
And I can see that trade happening in San Francisco with Ladd McConkey and getting a young receiver that fills right in perfectly for a lot less money.
Well, remember, they took the Gator wide receiver Pearsall late in the first round. I think they could go Powers Johnson. They can go offensive line where they have real needs. So it's the draft, though. Everybody's a winner. And boy, did Detroit look good last night.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, hop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So my friend from high school who went to Bama.
Thank you, Wes. Yes?
He sent us a picture last night of him at I think it was like his senior year. And he's posing with Tyrion Arnold and Jameson Williams smoking a victory cigar. And he goes, both these dogs ended up in Detroit.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. Brad Holmes loves Alabama. Jameson Williams, Tyrion Arnold, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch.
Listen, I have joked about it in years past, but if I ran an organization, I don't know if we'd scout more than 20 schools.
Yeah.
I think I would just pick players from most of the SEC and the top half of the Big Ten. A couple of ACC schools. I know I'd miss on some guys, but I'm going where the talent is. There's not a nap in my future today. There's probably going to be sleep. It's gonna vault right over nap, whatever
The threshold is.
whatever the threshold is. I'm gonna vault right over it.
I'm either going to shoot 74 today or 99.
I will say, I shot the best round of golf of my life off an all-nighter. I was so tired. Apparently, my tempo was so good. So slow, apparently. I'm serious. Pulled an all-nighter. If my mother's, I can't say what we did in case my mother's watching. Some of it involved a young lady in a golf course. I just can't.
That sounds fun.
Oh, it was fun.
It's funny you say that because our senior year in high school, we had run out of places to party. Outdoor places where we could go. And I'm like, you know where we can go? We can go to the golf course.
Yep.
There's a spot. We'll park here. We'll walk down here. No one will ever find us.
Nope.
And it turned out to be like and I was really good because there was like a hill and a green. And I'm like, no, we don't leave anything. We got to throw everything away.
No.
If we throw everything away, we've got this spot
We're
forever.
Ever.
This is our hub.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. We're out there one night and they were doing maintenance and all of the, the carts come on the green. I just started giving the greenskeepers beers.
Totally.
I said, we'll clean. I said, we'll clean all this up. I looked at the guy. We've been doing this for a month. You didn't know we were here. And he just started laughing. I go, I promise you.
Right. Like we're not running around tearing up.
We're not tearing it up. This is, it was guys and girls. And that was it was a great spot.
Mhm.
Great spot.
In high school, we had a spot, and it was this local park that had like a basketball court. And one night we were being too loud, and this mom from the neighborhood, we knew who she was. She pulls up with her SUV and like drives onto the basketball court, which is like a good 20 feet off the parking lot. So she drove through the grass onto the basketball court to try to like scare us off. She's like, you guys are being way too loud, whatever. And then my buddy goes, are you going to hit us with your car?
Or are you going to play one-on-one? Leave the lights on, whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, let's play for it.
You going to play in the heels or not?
All I'm thinking of is that commercial with the teacher that cuts her bangs.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Pat Kirwan will join us. He did the draft on NFL radio last night. He's doing it again tonight. He's doing it again tomorrow. Pat Kirwan, get his thoughts on a remarkable first round. 23 offensive players, including the first 14 in a row. Most offensive players ever. Most offensive players taken to start a draft ever. The top 10 had never been all offense or defense before, Mark. It is now. 6 quarterbacks in the top 12. First time we've had 6 quarterbacks in the first round since the historic class of 83. Elway, Marino, Kelly, 3 Hall of Famers amongst the 6. But 6 in the top 12. Damn. That's crazy. And one of them was from Atlanta.
That's crazy.
Damn. That's crazy. Seriously. Is this so? Atlanta is trying to pull a Green Bay. We've all applauded the Packers, right? We've all over the last 20 years, they took Aaron Rodgers, sat him for 3 years. And then they took Jordan Love and sat him for what, 2 years?
Yes.
Right. because it would have been 3, but Rodgers said, "Get me out of here. I don't want to do this anymore." Okay. So Atlanta's pulling a Green Bay. Green Bay has been universally praised for how they've handled quarterbacks, the quarterback position, and, we're going from Favre to Rodgers and now Jordan Love, who's not going to be a Hall of Famer probably, but at least he's a competent quarterback, so there's no, they're not going to hit the skids. Well, isn't Atlanta pulling a Green Bay?
It would be difficult for me to argue that because I was so high on Penix.
Right? We both are.
I mean, that's where I got to step back. As bizarre as I found the pick to be, because I thought a lot of other teams would draft Penix, I don't want to applaud Atlanta, but it's hard for me to be ultra critical of them when they picked a guy that I have high hopes for, think he will be a good NFL quarterback.
Now, it is interesting that they basically have already put a shelf life on Kirk Cousins, whom they just signed, arguably the biggest free agent acquisition of the offseason, right? In the whole league.
David, arguably the biggest free agent they've ever signed.
So if they had done this 2 years from now, I think we all would go, well, this is brilliant. I mean, Kirk Cousins is, by then, 2 years from now, I think he'll be 37. And they're like, oh, this is perfect. Kirk's got 2 years left. They drafted his heir apparent. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. I just think it's the timing that we're having a problem with. It's like, why did you do this now? Plus, don't you need to win now? This is a top 10 pick. You're not going to get, in theory, anything out of for 2 years. When you could name who you wanted. You want another receiver? I mean, Dunze was on the board. The third best receiver in the draft. I mean, the third best offensive lineman in the draft was still on the board.
Who Pat Kirwan thought was the best offensive lineman on the board, for what it's worth.
Right. Fashanu of Penn State, who the Jets take 3 picks later. Never mind every defensive player. And the thought was, well, Atlanta really needs help on defense. And they said, no, we're good. We'll take Penix. Apparently, Raheem Morris, head coach. And Mark, we all know this in real life. You get more when you first walk in the door at a place of business than you'll get for years. And Raheem Morris has just walked in the door. He pounded the table and he's like, this is what I want. And Raheem is more likely to get his way before he loses a game than he is after he starts losing games. And this, which, by the way, is also going to make life interesting for Kirk Cousins. It's like, so who really wanted him? Oh, your head coach. Really? Great. Okay. Now, $100 million guaranteed. He's an adult. It's not ideal, but in theory, you got 2 years. It's a little disappointing. You were hoping for 3 or 4, but if you're Kirk Cousins, realistically, you got 2 years. All right. Let's make it work.
Coming off an Achilles injury, maybe that's all you can ask for,
Yeah.
at that age.
Maybe. I didn't like it, though. And Mark, you're right. You and I both really like Penix.
And you and I are both of the opinion you draft a quarterback until you get the right one.
And so with that theory, they spent $100 million on the one guy who's proven, and then they drafted the other guy. And over the next 2 years, by the way, they should be able to tell whether or not they made a mistake or not.
If they're right, the decade is set for the Atlanta Falcons at the quarterback position.
Yeah, they're good till 2035. Nothing to see here. guys criticized us. We're the smart ones. You guys criticized the Packers back in 2005. How'd that work out? Remember how bent out of shape Aaron Rodgers was when Jordan Love got taken in the first round? How'd that work out?
If you and I are right, Atlanta and Washington made really smart moves at the quarterback position. We're not sure if anybody else did, based on who you and I liked heading into this draft.
I'll say this. If Caleb Williams can play, the Bears should make the playoffs. Unless their coaching gets in the way. Because I love what the Bears did with the 9th pick also. If we're all in on the quarterback, let's be all in on the quarterback. How can we best help him? And I'm sure the debate was get the best offensive lineman on the board or take Dunze, the receiver from Washington. I said, let's go the receiver.
For what it's worth, I would have liked them to take Bowers at 9.
And you
I
said
said
that
last
weeks
night.
ago. Yep.
But you are right in that now they've got a really good running back. They've got 3 receivers, a competent tight end, and an offensive line that is
better.
At worst average.
Yeah, it's all up to Caleb. It's all up to Caleb.
Well, the line's only average, but yes, a lot of it's on his shoulders. Now, I really wish they had a veteran for the first half of this year. Because I'd hate for that team, because if they lose games early, Eberflus is going to lose his job. And that franchise doesn't need that at this point in time. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks if I'm the Bears, I give everybody contract extensions right now. It's just like, we're in. This is who we're in with. We're in with Caleb. We're in with these skilled players. Josh Sweat's going to be the anchor of our defense. Okay, you're our coach. You're our GM. Guys, you've got 3 years minimum. Go to work.
Here's the other thing. Sports still went on last night outside the NFL draft.
What?
And hopefully, David got up early enough to write everything down that happened. Because we do a little thing called the starting 5.
What?
It's your recap of the night in sports. And outside of the draft, you will want to pay attention next on Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Florida.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Kilo's dad, no, we did not win the parlay. The Lakers effed us. And Empire, thank you so much for the kind words. But I do have to let you know one thing. Florida's up 3-0 in the series. You were talking so much crap about the Lightning. I mean, so much. You have to be held accountable for your negligence.
I don't know about negligence, but
negligence. Florida Panthers are better. We told you they were better.
They're better. It's a bummer when you're playing a team that's better. It is. But I mean, the top four teams in the East are separated by virtually nothing. I mean, they were separated by like 3 points in the standings. The Rangers, Carolina, Boston, and Florida.
The line of the night, by the way, Empire, was when Trent said we should do one of these for the NBA draft.
Never mind the fact that apparently in 2 months, the worst NBA draft ever is going to take place.
So I've got to laugh, David. I sometimes listen to the other local stations because I punish myself.
Why?
You know why? Because hear who's sponsoring the goddamn show. That's why. And the other station was at Twin Peaks last night. And that frosts my... that someone else got paid to do a draft show and it wasn't us. That's why.
Do anything to help you guys. Me neither, Sonny. Me neither. Ambient. The only thing I know is that Peyton, so Knicks came for a visit and he stayed. And they gave him the playbook. And he studied it overnight. And the next day they worked him out. And Peyton loved him. What I think happened was when Penix went to Atlanta, Denver went, oh, blank, we can't trade down. Because McCarthy's going to go here to Minnesota ahead of us. And what if Vegas wants a quarterback? Then, so we can't trade behind Vegas. So I think when Penix went so early, Denver went, well, we can't trade down now.
Oh, there it is. Unbelievable.
David, you know what I think is kind of ironic about the whole Bears thing with Eberflus is we're talking about how last year they were kind of the Lions from 2 years ago. The Lions from 2 years ago started 1-6. And if the Bears start 1-6, they might can them. You know what I'm saying?
Robert, I appreciate that, but it's never been a worry in my life. Ever. If I were worried about that, I'd quit what I do for a living.
Yeah, I'd do something else.
I literally don't listen for content. I listen for sponsors. The thing on the other station's the worst show that's ever been on radio. Ever. And if that guy who's hosting it was standing next to me, I'd look him dead in the face and tell him to go do something else. It's god effing awful. I listen to make myself laugh.
I was going to say, you listen a good amount, but it's not because you like it. It's because it's so bad.
You can tip Johnny Finger Lakes. It's when you see Adam will do cheer 100. There's a way to put money in your account and you can tip. And a bit is a penny, and 100 bits is I don't know.
Well, here we go.
3. You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour, Pat Kirwan will join us at the top of the 8 o'clock Eastern hour. We are Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. If you miss any part of the show, go to millerandmoulton.com and download what you missed. Trent does a really good job of getting, like, say, our first hour up very soon in our second hour, and vice versa. We edit out the commercials. It's a very easy listen for you.
There was a moment this morning that I was hoping Trent edited down last night's draft show and was just going to play it this morning.
Well, I have to admit, when I got up, I was thinking to myself, do you think we could re-rack the first hour and use that as our fourth hour? Do you think? Because the three of us, we're doing okay. You know, the adrenaline's still fired up from the draft. We thought we had a good show last night. A lot of people listened on twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton. We're very grateful for that. But, you know, and then we'll make it to Pat, and then we'll have a good half hour with Pat. And then, you know, we're going to need that second win. We're going to hit that 20-mile mark in the marathon. It's like, oh, boy. So, you know, I have to admit, I'm already trying to cheat.
I like your attitude.
There was in high school, I think it was senior year, I ended with gym because I wanted to be able to get out early. And second to last class was physics. Sat in the back of the class. Man, I slept a lot in that class. A lot.
I skipped physics most of my senior year.
Oh,
He
there
was
you go.
kind enough to give me a D.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, that's kind of what's in our mind right now. Near the end of the show, one guy's trying to skip out, one guy's trying to go to sleep. So, I mean, make sure you stay tuned for our fourth hour. It's going to be riveting. Trent's just going to start drinking Black Velvet again, and every 20 minutes go, man, does Detroit look good.
For those that missed it, Trent last night, we all drank during the show. David had 4 Miller Lights. He went nuts.
Crazy.
After 3 Miller Lights, moved to bourbon.
Right.
And had a couple of nice bourbons. Trent drank Black Velvet, warm, neat.
Straight from the bottle.
Chased with an energy drink.
Right.
A slug and a slug.
Drink it out of a bottle of Black Velvet that had a handle. That's how he rolls.
The starting five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
All right, we'll try to give you the cliff notes. 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 12 picks. Last time 6 quarterbacks went in the first round was 1983. Biggest surprise, Michael Penix went 8th to Atlanta. 6 weeks after they acquired Kirk Cousins for $180 million, 100 of it guaranteed. There were only 5 trades, 2 by Minnesota, 2 by Buffalo, 1 by Detroit. Minnesota went up twice. Buffalo went down twice. Detroit moved up 5 spots to take Terrion Arnold at 24, at which point 150,000 people on the streets of Detroit decided it was time to go home. 23 offensive players taken in the first round. That's a record. Previous record, I think, was 21, including the first 14 picks of the draft. Never before had the entire top 10 been on one side of the ball versus the other. And last night, the first 14 picks were offensive players. Jacksonville traded down from 17 to 23 and still got LSU wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. What's interesting is when they traded down, the thought was, oh, man, they're going to miss out on the corners. Well, Quinion Mitchell did go at 22, but Jacksonville could have taken Terrion Arnold, but they went wide receiver instead. And Detroit then traded up to take Terrion Arnold with the very next pick. Dolphins stayed pat at 21. Offensive line, right? Plug and play? No. They went Chop Robinson, edge, Penn State. Considered by many to be a boom or bust pick. That if he figures it out, he'll be the best pass rusher in the draft. So far, he hasn't really figured it out. But man, he looks good in shorts and a t-shirt. Looks fantastic.
It is one of those draft picks, David, that they could prove a lot of people wrong or they could look extremely foolish. It seems like there's no middle ground with what the Bucs did.
Tampa Bay, meanwhile, said, you know what we need? We need a plug-and-play offensive lineman. And at 26, do you know what they did? They took Duke offensive lineman Graham Barton, who one Mark Miller was pounding the table for the last week for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Pounding the table. Mark and Roy Cummings on our show yesterday both agreed Graham Barton was the pick. He was there. And he was the pick. Buffalo traded down twice. Buffalo, who needs a wide receiver, right? They got rid of Diggs. So they traded down with the Chiefs so that the Chiefs could take a receiver. Then they went from having the last pick of the first round to the first pick of the second round so that Carolina could move back into the first round and take a receiver. Many people feel that the Bills, with the first pick in the second round, are working on a trade with San Francisco for one of their disgruntled wide receivers, either Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk. The Vikings have no picks today, for what it's worth, and they only, because of the two deals that they made and the future draft picks they gave up, the Vikings only have 3 picks in next year's draft. They have a first and 2 fifths, and that's it.
They've gone all L.A. Rams on us.
They have. Only they're doing it with J.J. McCarthy. And they don't have an Aaron Darnold. But that's a whole other thing. Although they did trade up to get Dallas Turner. So, with their second first-round pick. Anyway, picks today. Washington has 5. Between the second and third rounds, Green Bay and Arizona have 4. If you're inclined to do this again. For the record, Mark, SEC had 11 first-round picks. Do you know who was second?
Oh, wait a minute. How are we counting this?
Teams, the conference you were in today. Okay, Oklahoma and Texas are not in the SEC until
Because the
July
Big
1st.
Ten had a great day, if we count the Big Ten.
The Big Ten come July 1st. Okay, I mean, they'll be able to run these Caleb Williams retrospectives beginning July 1st. But last night, Caleb Williams, a couple guys from Washington, an Oregon quarterback. Yeah, those all count as the Pac-12. Pac-12 had 8 guys taken.
That's more players than they have teams.
By a wide margin.
4 to 1.
So the SEC with 11, Pac-12 with 8, ACC and Big Ten with 4 each. Big 12 with 3. And all 3 were from Texas and Oklahoma. The other 2 were the corner from Toledo and Joe Alt, the lineman from Notre Dame. There you have it. Hockey. Panthers beat the Lightning again. Empty netter 5-3. Matthew Tkachuk with 2 goals. Tampa Bay 0 for 4 on the power play. Panthers didn't get a power play in the whole game.
And Tampa had 2 in the first period when the game was still in opportunity for the Lightning.
The whole way. You know, they were down a goal after the first period. They scored 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the second. They had a 1-goal lead. Florida then came back, scored 2, took a 1-goal lead in the third. Tampa never able to tie it. 5-3 Panthers. They're up 3 spit in the series. By the way, the series is getting more physical as it goes on. Game 2 was 121 hits, which was the most physical game of the playoffs thus far until Boston and Toronto played their game 2. And what did they have? 133?
133.
Yeah. 149 hits last night between the Lightning and the Panthers. 149. The Lightning had over 80 hits.
It's 2.5 hits a minute, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty
I mean, that is just
every 25 seconds somebody's getting hit. In this game. Hit. Exactly. Carolina, Islanders were desperate at home. They switched goalies. Yeah, the guy they switched to, Ilya Sorokin, he wasn't good. He gave up 3 goals on 14 shots, and Carolina held on to win 3-2. They're up 3 spit in that series. 4 games tonight. By the way, the word is, Mark, that Vancouver's goalie Demko's out for the playoffs. That's very interesting. He played game 1, played well. They won against Nashville, and now he's not going to play for the rest of the year. 2 other NFL news and notes, or NHL news and notes. Seattle moved their broadcasts off of a regional sports network to a local affiliate, and they signed a deal with Amazon. Their games in Alaska, Washington, and Oregon can be seen on Amazon Prime. I didn't realize Amazon did that. I didn't realize that Amazon could turn themselves into a regional sports channel. And longtime voice of hockey in Canada, Bob Cole. If you have a chance, go online and download John Cooper's ode to Bob Cole last night after the Lightning Panthers game.
I thought before the game they did a tremendous job on the TBS set of recognizing Bob Cole. It was very good.
Bob Cole, legendary voice of Hockey Night in Canada, died at the age of 90. So Orlando beat Cleveland by 38 to get back in that series. They're down 2-1. Embiid with 50. Sixers beat the Knicks by 11 to get back in that series. Yeah, this just in. Denver owns the Lakers. That's 11 in a row. 112-105. 4 players with 20 or more points for the Nuggets. 3 playoff games in the NBA tonight. Not a full schedule in Major League Baseball yesterday. Rays and Marlins did not play. Neither did the Braves. Cleveland, AL Best 18-7. They beat Boston 6-4. Twins swept the 4-gamer from the White Sox, who've lost 7 in a row. The White Sox are 3-22. Hello. Phillies got a homer from Bryce Harper. He just came back from maternity leave. And Zach Wheeler with a 1-hitter through 6. They beat Cincy 5-0. Milwaukee beat Pittsburgh 7-5. They're leading the division at 16-8. 5 innings is all they can get into Kansas City before the rains came. Watch out for that rain at some point in Detroit for the draft. KC 2-1 over Toronto. Oakland beat the Yankees 3-1 to split a 4-game series. Cubs, Peter Crow Armstrong. First major league hit was a 2-run homer in the 6th. Was the difference in a 3-1 win over the Astros. Seattle's back in first in the West. They beat Texas 4-3. Colorado with 6 in the 8th. They beat San Diego 10-9. And Dodgers swept the Nats 2-1. Zurich Classics, a team event. Nobody really cares. There's great video of a gator walking around near the tee box on one of the holes.
One of the only people in attendance for the first round of the Zurich Classic.
Right. We had him on the show last summer. Frankie Cappan. He played his college golf at FGCU. He shot a 58 on the Korn Ferry Tour yesterday. That's 13 under par, beating the course record that Scotty Scheffler held. Ever heard of him? Scheffler had a 59 at the Texas Rangers Golf Club. Cappan with 11 birdies and an eagle. And that includes parring the par 5 18th for a 58. U.S. Open qualifier, 15-year-old Charlie Woods shot a 9 over 81 at a golf course in Port St. Lucie. So there you go. See, the 15-year-old we should be paying attention to.
Yes.
To the kid in Jacksonville Beach.
Right.
Right. So just, well, you know, Bronny James, Charlie Woods, you know, it's just famous dads.
Well, I mean, nepotism reigns supreme in every business.
I was going to say, let's talk sportscasting. And at 8 minutes before the hour, time was for the...
That was the starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
Man, did Detroit look great last night, huh?
It sure did. 275K, by the way, is what they're predicting.
That's what they're saying.
It's what there was last night. And for reference, last year in Kansas City, I think there was 312 total for the 3 days.
Well, there was over 200,000 in Nashville a couple years ago. That's apparently the record that Detroit beat last night. So that's awesome. It's cool. City did look good. Nothing bad happened. Okay. It was awesome.
That we know of.
Yeah, that's great. Hope every city that hosts the draft can pull it off like that.
Should be in Vegas at the Sphere every year. Pat Kirwan, an hour away. Bless you.
Thank you.
Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
There's a really good chance that we're re-racking the 6 o'clock hour at 9. And by a really good chance, it's at like 89% right now. That's only because David's not in the other room going, it's at 100%. And if we do it, I might even run and get empanadas and bring you back breakfast. Might.
You could do that when Pat comes on. We'll just cut him loose, let him talk.
I let Trent know there's a really good chance we're re-racking the 6. And by really good, I said 89%. That's only because you weren't there to finalize the final 11%.
Yeah, but during the 6, I'm talking about re-racking the 6.
I guess it went down to 87%. This one's already empty. I never drink my whole water during the show. It's already gone.
Well, after last night, you're a little dehydrated. How you holding up there, Mr. Happy?
I'm good. I'm just getting this first hour posted. Otherwise, I'd be chatting your ear off.
Man,
Yeah.
Detroit looked good last night.
You know, Detroit looked good last night. My only question to you, Trent, I know you're working over there. Did Marina Del Rey text at all during the show and say you're a train wreck?
She didn't say anything after. She simply just told me she was watching.
Okay.
So I don't know how long she watched for.
This could be the disaster.
I would not have told her about last night at all.
Best part is she got a text him today and it's just going to say Detroit looked great last night.
That would be, let me tell you something. If she texts that, I'll propose to her.
You run to the Diamond District and buy her a ring.
God almighty. I swear, we'll chip in. Golly.
See, I think my job is cool.
It is cool.
I like to tell people, you know, I sent it to all my buddies last night. I'm like, come on and watch.
Yeah, Mark did a great job changing the lighting on the lanai with every pick. It was awesome.
Worth the price of admission, which was $0.
Exactly.
Plus
And
the tipped.
we had the picks before the networks did.
We did.
Albert Breer decided he was
on 3, and Albert Breer were just like, you know what?
Not
Screw
playing.
this. Here's the picks.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Draft Friday, where we recap round 1 and get ready for rounds 2 and 3. Listen, there are 5 teams that have multiple second-round picks. All right, there are 8 teams that have multiple third-round picks. I mean, come on now. I know what I'm doing on a Friday night. Just had the conversation with my wife. It's like, what do you want to do tonight? What do I want to do tonight? You kidding me? I'm watching former NFL players step up to the podium and call the names of current NFL players. That's what I'm doing. It's exciting. What do you want to do? Go out, have fun? I don't think so.
Did your wife actually want to do something tonight?
No, I think she was just taking a poll. I think
Okay.
she was wanting to see if I actually wanted to go out and watch the draft out in public.
Oh, gosh, no.
Well, not unless we're getting paid for it. I mean, that's when you go out and you do it in public. You know, you're at a remote and what have you. I mean, you and I have both done it in public before, but we were paid to do it. Come on down, watch the draft with us, that sort of deal.
Yeah, but not round 2.
No, not rounds 2 and 3.
You guys
Now, I guess you could do it if you're a local station. You got a local guy who's probably going. Because the other thing is, there's a chance you could actually have him on site. I mean, you could have the party at a place. I know most people want to watch it in private, but I mean, when I worked in Scranton, we actually had a couple guys in which, they were out in public when they got drafted.
Day
So-
2 of the draft has become not as big as night 1, obviously, it never will be, but it's become over the last 10 years pretty watchable. I mean, you got to tune in for day 2.
7 minutes in between picks for the second round, and then I think it's like 6 or 5 for the third. They moved this sucker along.
You are right, because if we don't know what happened with Jonathan Brooks tonight, I don't know how I'm going to live.
No doubt about it.
I just want to know how Arthur Blank feels about the Falcons' second and third round picks tonight.
I mean, if you're a Florida State fan, where does Verse go? Where does Keon Coleman go? Where does the running back go? I mean, come on now. This is Gooberville City. Friday and Saturday, that's for the Goobers. Anybody can watch Thursday, Mark. You're in on Friday and Saturday. You're a goober. And we say that with great affection, by the way, because I'm a goober.
Yeah, you are. And this is where the trades start coming. This is where Moulton gets excited, because they just start trading on Friday and Saturday. And Verse did get drafted already.
Oh, yeah, that's right. My bad. Verse went 19. They think he's going to replace Aaron Donald. Not that he's got big shoes to fill or anything. Nothing to worry about here, kid. Who am I replacing? Aaron Donald. You want his locker? No, I'm good.
I just want TJ Tampa to get taken by Tampa today. That's my goal for the day.
But I'm curious, Green Bay's got 2 2s, 2 3s, are they really just going to hang tight? I mean, they got the youngest roster in the league. Really? I mean, how about maybe moving at least, I don't know, packaging a third with a second, moving up 10 spots, getting somebody you really want? Things like that. That's what interests me about today also. Plus, there's still today a lot of guys that we watched in college. And you're like, oh, wow, yeah. Okay. So, that's all. Pat Kirwan in less than an hour. We'll get his thoughts on the first round. The quarterbacks, Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa Bay, how they did. His thoughts on Chop Robinson. There are people that absolutely love the pick. And there are people like me who are like, oh, boy. I don't think this guy's going to work out. I think he's going to be all potential and no production. I mean, listen, when they're already saying, if he figures it out, he'll be the Micah Parsons. Oh, good. Let's not put any pressure on the guy or anything. Yeah, unbelievable. Micah Parsons. Take it easy now. Somehow I don't think the next Micah Parsons is being taken at 21.
Well, now that's...
And I know he didn't go till 12. Trust me, I know. My team passed on him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can look at where someone's taken to figure out where they're going to be.
I get you. But, I mean, if he's going to be Micah Parsons, I mean, he ain't falling to 21. They ain't taking 14 offensive players if he's going to be the next Micah Parsons. Let's get that straight right now.
You may have something there.
And in all honesty, let's just say Chop Robinson's a real deal. Atlanta at 8 drafted a backup quarterback for the next 2 years, maybe next 3.
Let's not start basing our draft off of Atlanta's bad pick or Atlanta's great pick, because which is it?
Right. Now, it's really controversial. That's all. Atlanta's controversial pick. They're either the smartest ones in the room, and they're going to have 12 consecutive years of great quarterback play. 2, 3, whatever they get out of Cousins, and then they're going to go seamlessly into Penix, and bada bing, bada boom. And by the time they turn it over to Penix, he'll be like 26, 27 years old also.
Well, that's the part of this that's interesting. He was the oldest quarterback in the draft. And I thought when they drafted him, they might be trading him. I thought this might be an NBA style pick.
Right.
That was our initial reaction. I mean, we all three were kind of like,
well,
that's not for real, right?
The one thing I will say is the NFL hates it. I mean, they haven't outlawed it, but they have strongly encouraged teams not to do what the Giants and Chargers did in 2004. They do not want pictures of guys wearing the hats of teams that an hour later they're not playing for. For whatever reason, the NBA doesn't have a problem with it. The NFL has strongly encouraged their teams not to pull something like that off again. So that's why when they took him, I went, they've had a lot of time to work. Because if you think about it, who thought Penix was going to go before 8? So if somebody really wanted him, I mean, you know, if the Raiders really wanted him, they had plenty of time to work out a deal with Atlanta. Would they really not get a deal done on the clock? I mean, hell, they've had weeks in theory to work that deal out. So controversial move. Falcons taking Penix at 8. Hey, what do you think of McCarthy going to Minnesota? First off, they didn't trade their second first-round pick. They traded a couple of mid-round picks, moved up one spot with the Jets. Good job by Joe Douglas, by the way, to move down one spot and get the guy you were going to take at 10. Get some assets. Good job. But J.J. McCarthy with the Vikings, Mark, what do you think?
I don't think he's going to be an exceptional NFL quarterback.
So you don't think he's top
ceiling, I think his ceiling is middle third, between a 10 and 20 guy in the league. That doesn't mean he can't take you to the playoffs. Doesn't mean he can't win a playoff game or two. I don't think he's the guy to lead you to the promised land.
Well, and I will say there aren't many who have. You know, that's the other thing. If we're holding Super Bowl appearances and or titles, and that's the only thing you could define a quarterback on. I mean, Lamar's won 2 MVPs, hasn't gone to the big game yet. But I know what you're saying.
Put it this way. I don't know if J.J. McCarthy gets to a conference championship game. I'll lower the bar from Super Bowl to the last game in his conference.
Okay. He's what? You go back to high school? High school and college, isn't he like 61-3 as a starter or something like that?
That's great.
I know. I just had to throw it out there.
That
Mark,
is
it's quality material. You can never criticize a sportscaster for throwing out quality material, even if it's completely irrelevant.
Will he ever be better than Jordan Love?
Ooh. Now, you're asking the wrong guy because I'm still not sold on Jordan Love.
I know you're not. And that's why I asked you the question.
And before people say you're a moron, well, first off, yes. But secondly, in mid-December, Jordan Love got outplayed by Tommy Cutlets and lost a game. And Jordan Love, when he threw the ball 25 times or less, Jordan Love looked really good. But when Jordan Love had to make throws under pressure in a close playoff game, he fell apart like a tin watch in San Francisco. Watch that fourth quarter again if you have a chance, and really go back to late third quarter when they had the lead and they were in control of that game. Jordan Love threw that game away for Green Bay and didn't get blamed for it, and I don't know why. I mean, I've seen Jordan Love in person 3 times. He was bad all 3 times, including twice last year. Just last year.
6 quarterbacks in the first round. How many of them get a second contract with the team that drafted them?
I hope the answer is at least 4. I really do.
The likelihood of that being the case, though, is not very high.
Yeah, that's what you hope. I feel like the over-under is like 2.5, right?
I'd put it at 3.5.
And I'd go under. And I would hope that I'm wrong. I'm rooting for all these guys, including J.J. McCarthy. Not you, Trent. I know you're not. You're happy that as a Minnesota, you can hate on them all you want.
Yep.
I want them all to be successful, but the likelihood is not that they will be.
Well, so quickly, who are you guys most confident in of the 6 that were taken?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
I also think he's going to a really good situation. Early signs, this is a good ownership group. Secondly, they hired an up-and-coming executive to be the GM that a lot of people around the league were like, oh, that's a good hire. They have an experienced head coach who took a team to a Super Bowl. They're not going to be poorly coached. And they have a lot of assets to surround him with. The cupboard is not as bare in Washington as you think from their draft status.
But the cupboard's full in Chicago. I don't know if a quarterback's walked into much better situation than what Caleb's walking into in Chicago. 3 receivers, a tight end, a running back, and a line that's adequate. He's set up to be successful. It's just whether or not he will be.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commissioned and educational presentation and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends. Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I'm still voting for the re-rack.
For what it's worth, I thought that first hour went pretty quickly.
Yeah, but you know how
It would
long the
sound
fourth
really
hour?
good.
You know how long the fourth hour is going to be?
I was just going to say, it would sound really good at about 9 o'clock.
I guess we're on in Jacksonville now. We probably have to do all 4 hours.
I wasn't going to say it.
Otherwise, it would just be me sitting here.
That's true. We have to
Sitting-
do the video too. And it would look really bad with you reaching down drinking the black velvet at 9:38 in the morning.
Oh, my God. I'm never going to live that down. There's a lot of things from last night that are going to get referenced for the rest of time.
Damn Jacksonville.
You can go home. I'm going to bed at like 10:04 a.m., so I don't care.
I'm hanging with Appleton later.
Oh, wow.
If I were you, I'd get a nap beforehand.
Yeah.
I would. I
Another
know you
shower.
think you're young.
Shower for sure.
I would get a nap. Okay. I know you're feeling the adrenaline, the whole deal. Boy, did Detroit look good, but you need an hour. You do. Even 24 years old and indestructible, I'm telling you. Because you don't want to be fading on her. You don't want it to hit when you're with her.
Boy, he gives a lot of advice.
Just saying.
The best was when I was like, so how do you guys take naps? Do you nap on the couch? And you guys were both like, listen. That's not how this works.
I've been napping on the couch.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I nap on the couch. But initially when I brought it up, David was like, absolutely not.
Oh, no. A good nap's in bed.
Yeah, I just go straight to the dark room. Boom. The best naps are on the road. I set the hotel room to like 67 degrees. Make it as dark as possible. Can barely see my hands. Oh, so good.
I don't tee off till 1:22. I got a nap in my future, too.
Definitely. And a good one at that.
You know what, Empire? You're right. I need an empanada and I need a Cuban coffee. Stat.
How about a poll question?
I could use one of those.
Well, do you want to do what you guys
How many of the quarterbacks sign a second contract with
Yes.
their team?
Yes.
Was that the question that we wanted to go with? What was the question last night that Trent said, we should go with that poll question tomorrow?
I don't remember.
Okay.
None of us do.
None of us do. It's part of our charm. We never remember. We don't write it down and we don't remember. What good are we, honestly? Not sure what we bring to the table.
Grit. That's what we bring. We bring grit.
Did Detroit look good? Yes or no? It's another good poll question.
That's outstanding.
Everyone would troll me and they would just vote no. Okay, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. I have no idea if he got in time to work on this, but it's scheduled. Trent Bally will have the play of the day, the Molly Maid play of the day, coming up in about a half a dozen minutes. All right, 2 possibilities for a poll question.
All right, I like it. I like where your head is. At least that we've got a poll question in the works.
The one that the three of us have discussed on and off the air in the last half hour is, so how many of these quarterbacks are going to get a second contract? All right, and that's fine. But how about if we also ask people, because we asked heading into the draft how much confidence you had in your team to get the draft right. So now, there's only 3 teams that didn't, and actually 2 because Carolina traded back into the first round, although Buffalo traded out. So only 3 teams didn't pick last night. So 90% of the league picked last night. Do we ask, how do you think your team did last night? One answer's got to be great, hit it out of the park. One answer's got to be like, pretty good.
Wait and see.
And then, one answer has to be, Falcons took Penix, something like that.
One answer has to be, I'm in the portal. I'm in the transfer portal looking for a new team.
What I find fascinating is that the two of you come up with answers for poll questions, never having filled out the poll question on X. of which there's 25 characters to come up with the proper answer. And, maybe for this one, Michael Penix and that. I mean, you guys come up with lengthy answers as if this is some sort of essay exam. It's a poll question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's your job.
Brevity.
It's your job to condense it. I mean, I booked the show. I do the starting five. You do the poll question.
Oh, no.
No. We all have our roles. Okay. I book the show. I do the starting five. You do the poll questions, and you do good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was the day when. And Trent does the Molly Maid play of the day. And we browbeat him all the time. Stop going to the NBA every day. Okay. So that's it. We have our roles. One of yours is yes, we're too verbose. We're not good at the poll question. We dump it in your lap. And we do. And we give you a mess. We do. And I apologize for that. We give them to you late and messy. And we say, here, clean it up, get it up, posted. Let's go.
And even that, we only do 4 days a week.
I do like the idea of, did Detroit look good last night as a poll question?
So anyway, those are our nominations for poll question. Mark, you have UN Security Council veto power here. Okay. Nothing. We never do a poll question without your approval. So that's just what I'm nominating.
We'll get something up quickly.
Whatever. Just, hopefully it's 25 characters or less or whatever the ground rules are. So can I just throw this out there? The most controversial pick is Penix. Do you know how old Brett Favre was when the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers? He was 35. And in October of that season, of Rodgers' rookie season, he turned 36. Do you know how old Kirk Cousins is today? 35. He turns 36 in August. Chronologically, and Aaron Rodgers was older when the Packers drafted Jordan Love. I mean, they pulled the Packers last night is what they did. Now, they did it higher in the draft. Rodgers went like 23 or something.
Right. I mean, he kind of fell into their lap.
Yes. Jordan Love, they traded up a few spots, but they took him at 26? And I think they were drafting 30th. Okay, so that's the other part of this. It's like, if they were sitting tight in the mid-20s and they took Penix, people would go, wow, that's really smart.
Well, also, wasn't it just Rodgers and Alex Smith were the only two quarterbacks to go in the first round that year?
Yes.
So that speaks to how different how much times have changed.
The thought was that, I will say, you're right, first off. But secondly, the thought was they were going 1 and 2 at one point. I mean, Rodgers went into a free fall in that draft. It was one of the great green room appearances in draft history.
Yeah, I guess, in fact, Rodgers' agent told the story the last couple of days. Apparently, I think the Giants were picking 5th or something like that. No, Tampa Bay was. Tampa Bay was picking 5th. And when Tampa Bay the night before called Rodgers' agent and said, yeah, we're not going to take you, they took Cadillac Williams. Good player, running back, though, 7 years.
I mean, it was only a handful of picks, but don't you think J.J. McCarthy had that moment? He was convinced the Giants were taking him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Had to be convinced Minnesota was trading up with the Chargers to take him, and then if not, okay, Giants will take me now. So Penix to Denver. There's a question in our Twitch chat room. Which coach / offensive coordinator do you think is the best combination for these quarterbacks? Listen, I love the Minnesota coach, who's also their offensive coordinator, Kevin O'Connell. I love him. All right. I think McCarthy will be very well coached in a very quarterback-friendly offense. And he's got arguably the best wide receiver in the league. At least for now. We'll see if he's happy with the pick and he stays. Bo Nix has Sean Payton, for goodness sakes. I mean, yeah, last year was a disaster and all that, but I mean, come on. Has Sean Payton for gotten how to coach offense.
Gets rid of the ball quickly. That's what Peyton wants.
So, I mean, you got to admit these quarterbacks, you talked about all the assets that Chicago got for Caleb Williams. The Minnesota quarterbacks are going to be very well coached. Bo Nix is going to be very well coached. Penix is going to get groomed, theoretically, not going to be rushed in for 2+ years. I mean, really, the big question is probably Drake May in New England. Doesn't have good personnel around him.
Jordan Daniels to a certain extent in Washington.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, if you're looking at head coach, offensive coordinator, and roster around him combination, you're right. Jaden Daniels and Drake May are probably walking into the worst situations.
Well, the difference, though, I think, is Jaden Daniels in Washington. They kind of have that shot in the arm of like new ownership. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, but those are ancillary things. Those aren't on the field.
I get that, but I'm just saying New England, it's like
Washington's roster is better than New England.
Yes.
It is. It is. They had a better offseason also. Their roster is not bad. In the NFC, actually, I mean, if Jaden Daniels is competent, they'll probably win 7+ games. I mean, I know the Cowboys are all in and all, but
they sure were last night, trading down.
Yeah, that's a good move though. They got the guy at 29 that they were going to get at 24. So that's a good move. Time now for
this is the biggest surprise from last night, and it's a little off the board, but I just want to play it for you. Here you go.
With the 8th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix Jr.
Well, there it is.
Quarterback, Washington.
That's how it sounded on the NFL Network. Surprises all around. Michael Penix headed to Atlanta just weeks after they pay Kirk Cousins the bag. Wow.
I'm going to say that all day now. I'm just going to have that in my wow.
Thank you both for men.
It was draft night. Happens once a year,
Mm-hmm. That's our Molly made play of the day. Which
I'll tell you what, though, blame us though. We told him you're doing NBA too many times, and Embiid scores 50, and he doesn't even make the play of the day. That's on us, Mark. We browbeat him in 6 months. Okay, we browbeat him. He was scared to go Embiid, who scored 50.
If you spilled black velvet on your carpet, call Molly Made today, 239-774-5839, and tell them Miller and Moulton sent you.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
All right. I can't even write.
Hello, Jacksonville. Keeping us honest. Oh, look at the ad I just got on Twitter or on X.
Oof.
It's the Apollo Creed shorts. Since I'm no longer on camera and cannot show you guys. I love the gaming chair.
I think we have to put clips of Trent drinking his Black Velvet together and somehow send it to a Black Velvet and try to get a sponsorship deal.
The Black Velvet play of the day. Oh. Only 20 more minutes. Then we get Pat in here. You guys get a little bit of a, not a break, but a call to the bullpen.
Very funny post on X. Hey, Penix is a very smart pick. Cousins plays all the afternoon games. Penix plays the primetime ones. Hoo-ah.
Wow.
That is good.
EB Hill, and I'll eat just about anything that's not nailed down. I will not eat 7-Eleven pizza. Nope. That does not look.
Sorry.
Growing up in the Northeast, the only time Little Caesars, and I only do that when I'm just trying to be quick, easy, and cheap. Otherwise, I don't like below average pizza.
No offense. That's all you eat.
No.
You haven't searched out good pizza in Jacksonville. You've just
found one place that I think has potential.
You guys ever go to Marsala?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I got a friend, one of my few friends here. He's from Staten Island, and he loves their pizza.
Like I used to eat Grimaldi's all the time.
Okay.
Of course, I lived right by it.
All right. Oh, golly.
I think it's funny that, David, you eat Little Caesars, but not Papa John's.
No, Papa John's is bad. It is. Now, maybe since Shaq took them over, they've improved the quality, but
you got to have the Shaq-a-roni.
The Shaq-a-roni.
You know what was a bad idea? It was that taco I had after the draft last night.
Really? That was the bad idea. I mean, it was the second brand of bourbon. It wasn't starting the bourbon in between picks 12 and 13.
They drafted Bo Nix.
Well, come on. The Penix pick is what got you. That's what
got the wheels
road.
turning, and then
Yep.
it was like, oh, okay. Bo Nix just went, yeah, we're breaking into this.
We do follow Portnoy's Pizza reviews. What was that place in Bonita?
Grampus. Where is Uncle Rico's, fam?
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
Pat Kirwan at the top of the hour. He broadcast the draft for NFL Radio on Sirius XM last night. He'll do rounds 2 and 3 tonight. Most of rounds 4 through 7 on Saturday. We'll get Pat's thoughts on a historic draft. 6 quarterbacks in the first round. Never mind 6 in the top 12. That's never happened before. Haven't had 6 in the first round since 83. First 14 picks were on offense. 23 players on offense went in the first round. Remarkable stuff.
How do you think Raj is feeling this morning? Had back surgery 3 weeks ago.
Not good.
They were talking that he wasn't going to hug.
He
And I
hugged.
don't remember which lineman picked him up.
Was it Alt at 5?
No, it was
Latham?
might have been Latham.
It was Latham. He picked him up.
And I mean, Bear hugged him and picked him up. And I'm like,
that's a big man.
Yeah.
And I mean, I actually feel for Raj. No, I mean, you know, my dad was someone who had several back surgeries. I know what that does to a human being. And for Raj to just be out there 3 weeks after back surgery had to be difficult. And then I picked up. I'm telling you, he's in traction today.
Yeah, I thought he was going to fist bump everybody. I really did. His doctors were advising him not to do it. And then he decides to, hug guys like he always does. Thank goodness it was like the lowest number of players to ever attend the draft, right? So he gave the least amount of hugs he's ever given, thank goodness.
Yeah, what was there? Only 13 in the green room?
Is that what it was? 11, 13, something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, people just want to watch it at home. Well, this goes back to the
Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas went fishing with his grandfather.
Back when the draft was on the weekend, he went fishing.
Yep, went fishing. Came back. They said, hey, the Browns took you at 3. He went, how about that?
Well, heck, last night, J.J. McCarthy wasn't even there.
No.
Right, not like it was a long trip for him.
And they would have loved him. He would have been drowning in praise from all the Detroit fans. Who, Mark, 70% of Detroit fans are probably Michigan fans.
Absolutely.
At least. He wasn't even there.
My wife's favorite part of the draft was all of the girlfriends and their adjustments on camera.
Now, see, it's okay that a woman makes that observation. If we make that observation, we're in trouble. Okay. But if your wife is making that observation, listen, nobody puts down women like other women. Okay. Honestly, for as much grief as us guys deservedly get, you really want to cut down a woman. Just let another woman do the commentary. Man, they're tough on each other.
And she never said anything about, they look bad or anything like that. But she said every time they're checking their hair or they're moving their dress or they're looking at the TV while they're looking at themselves on the TV. She just thought it was.
No, and the part that I like is that when it comes time for them to get their second contract, is the young lady who was on their arm draft night still on their arm?
Probably not.
That's, what I enjoy. There was
arm candy.
Yeah, there was a meme that was on X last night of all the, quarterbacks, especially taking over the years and, their girlfriends that were sitting next to them. And the relationship didn't quite go the distance.
So the Bills will start round 2.
Yeah.
After doing business with Kansas City.
Listen, if you're a Bills fan, you can't be happy, right?
No.
I mean, what in the world are you doing helping the Chiefs? Seriously. Now, I know Belichick made deals within the division and, you just worry about yourselves. Yeah, to a point, right? I mean, come on now. You're going to help Andy Reid and Mahomes get the one weapon that they really want? Why are you doing that? And why are you not taking them for yourself?
That's the question. It's one thing to trade with the Chiefs, David. It's another to trade with them and they take the same position of need that you have.
And you're doing this months after they beat you in heartbreaking fashion.
Again.
I mean, they've beaten them, 3 of the last 5 years in the playoffs?
Yeah.
They've knocked them out, and the other 2 times it was Cincinnati. So, yeah, if I'm a Bills fan, I'm not happy. Never mind the fact you stay up all night, and then you end up trading out of the first round entirely because you make a second deal with Carolina. Now, I will say, pick 33 usually has great value. Teams will give up significant assets for pick 33. I mean, Tennessee had to give up a chunk to get Will Levis at 33 or 34 last year.
Right, because you see who drops out of the first round. You have a whole day to sleep on it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kool-Aid dropped out of the first round. The guy that Mark and I both love, Powers Johnson of Oregon, apparently medical concerns about him. He fell out of the first round.
Cooper DeJean
of Iowa fell out of the first round. Buffalo's got needs for McKinstry or DeJean. Never mind all the receivers. Ladd McConkey's still on the board.
Well, and they have need for offensive line. They lost their center to Jacksonville in free agency. I know he was older, and they're trying to get the offensive line younger. So Powers Johnson could still be an asset for the Bills.
The other Texas receiver, Adonai Mitchell's still on the board, isn't he?
Yes.
By the way, 6 quarterbacks, but how many wide receivers went yesterday? 6, I believe. 3 of them late. Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Leggett. But no, I think it's 7, actually. 7 receivers went.
And Worthy was a surprise.
Not the surprise Leggett was. I mean, on the board that I have, and again, it's not my board, it's what I steal. But I mean, I'm not going to act like I have my own board. Anybody that's doing this for a living that has their own board, I would like to talk to them to see what it is they do for a life. But I do research and try to, at least. But he was 76 on what I have. Leggett was 76th. Wide receiver 14 on the list.
David, where was he on your board?
On my board, Leggett was the 11th wide receiver that I had.
Third round projection for this guy, and he gets taken at the end of the first round. They better be right.
Right. You had him at 14. David has him at 11.
I had him as the number 11 receiver written down. Yes.
And which receiver was he in the pecking order?
He ended up being 7.
He was
the
the
7th receiver taken. That's just it's a big reach based on what research I've done.
So 6 quarterbacks, 7 receivers, 9 offensive linemen. That's 22 right there. You throw in Bowers, there's your 23 offensive players. Boom.
And how many to start it? 14?
First 14. First defensive player, Latu went to the Colts at 15, the defensive end from UCLA. I'm curious, Jags fans, you got a good player. You got Brian Thomas. People think he's be a very good 2, maybe even a number 1 wide receiver. Depends on who you talk to. You got him at 23. Most mock drafts did not have him falling to 23. But you chose him over Terrion Arnold. And I'm just curious, what did you think was more of a need? A receiver or a corner?
Which Florida team did the best in the draft? Which,
That could have been a poll question.
Still could be.
I think it should be.
Well, hell.
By the way, can you fit that at 25 digits into your line?
There's
Miami, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville. Can you fit that?
There's the snark.
Yeah, I can fit it, David. Thank you.
Okay, good to know. Well, you cleaned that up nice because what you said in your head did not come out of your mouth. So that's good. Keeps us on the air that way.
That's the idea.
Yep. I hear you. Minnesota traded up twice, 1 spot to get the quarterback, 6 spots to get the edge rusher. They've given up a lot of like 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks to move all over the place, though. They don't have a ton of picks left in this draft. And next year, they got 3 picks, a 1 and 2 5s. It's strange. So,
but Buffalo making all kinds of moves. We didn't necessarily love it.
what if they end up trading with the Niners for either Debo or Ayuk? Then do you go, well, I take it all back?
Yes.
They moved down twice. They grabbed a bunch of mid-round picks, and they went and they got the proven commodity. Now they got to pay them. Obviously, you make a deal like that.
They just got rid of Diggs, so they should have yes.
Well,
I'm fine with that.
They can't pay him this year, whoever they get, if they were to make that deal, because Diggs is still counting a pretty big sum, actually. But they can sign him to an extension where it kicks in next year. They've got room. And that is the one thing the Bills did this offseason. The Bills cleaned up their cap going forward.
Here's what I'm wondering. Debo is definitely an upgrade over Stephon Diggs. We'd all agree, right? All things considered, Stephon Diggs was, a cancer, and you bring in Debo.
I don't see. I personally think that that's overblown.
Okay.
No, seriously, name me the Bills teammate who has said something bad publicly about Stephon Diggs. I'll hang up and listen.
I'm just judging off, his body language and his outbursts on the side.
Oh, please,
can't be
body language. First off, every wide receiver has bad body language. Throw me the damn ball.
Okay, but you love the Debo wide receiver. Most people don't.
I know.
And for you to basically push off body language as someone who can read more into a 3-second cutaway than anyone I've ever met, I find ironic. Just a little.
No, it's fair. But body language from a quarterback or what have you. But wide receivers, I mean, come on, you have to. Every wide receiver is, I was open, throw me the ball. Every single one.
But the second prong of my question was going to be, I don't think Ayuk is an upgrade over Stephon Diggs. Do you guys think so?
No, but he's an upgrade over what they have.
Well, yeah, because they got rid of Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, well, but if you're trying to, which would you rather have, Ricky Pearsall or Brandon Ayuk? Xavier Leggett or Brandon Ayuk? Now, the interesting one is this worthy kid from Texas that they then let the Chiefs move up and get, because apparently he'll be the fastest guy in the league. I mean, apparently he's every bit as fast as Tyreek Hill.
Well, and like you said yesterday, David, I mean, if you're trading for a proven talent, that's a little different than taking a swing. And the Bills, their window is pretty much open now, right? You could argue it's closing.
As long as they have a healthy Josh Allen, their window's open.
Sure. So I'm just saying, I just find it interesting. I mean, yeah, they can trade for Debo or Ayuk, but is that an upgrade over what they had? Are they better?
But my question is, what do we think of the Niners if they make this trade? Obviously, these guys are on the market.
And they're getting rid of one. I mean, I don't think they're getting rid of both, but I think they're getting rid of one.
And what do we think of the Niners if they get rid of one? Now, remember, they drafted Pearsall, the kid from Florida, who I like for what it's worth. I think he'll have a very good career if he can stay healthy. I think he's surprisingly athletic. Same with Lad McConkey, by the way, whoever gets him early tonight. I think his athleticism will surprise people.
I think he'd be good in Buffalo, by the way.
McConkey?
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
But let's think about this. I mean, David, I think what you're alluding to is the Niners might have their hands a little more full than we initially think right now.
Well, they definitely do with salary. Yes. They've got 7 guys that are making top 3 money at their position. They can't afford to pay everybody. So they're going to unload Ayuk, who's about to get paid by somebody. Okay. And Debo, who signed a big money extension. So they're unloading one of the two is the word.
Right.
Well, my question is, what does that do to the Niners? They're the best team in the NFC. How much closer do they get now to Detroit, to Green Bay, to Philadelphia, to Dallas?
And in that division, the Rams,
to
Tyler
Dallas,
back healthy.
I know they're all in. That was cute. I mean, I know it's a requirement for Sports Talk Radio. Pat Kirwan's next.
Thank you.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moutlon was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moutlon was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moutlon on the Florida Sports Network.
Did you send him a link?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
think. Pretty sure I did. We'll send him another one.
I just texted him, do we need to call him? Because this is a case where he may not have brought his equipment with him because the equipment's waiting for him.
Right.
By the way, Jaden Daniels was asked who's the NFL player that like he most looks up to and what have you. And apparently he's very good friends with Brandon Ayuk. He said they've talked every day for 4 years. Let's see if you're Washington. You've got 2 2s and 3 3s. And you have, let me see my list here, like 40 million in cap space. I'd call him, by the way, Trent. Oh. What's that?
That computer is, is talking to you today.
Yeah, just
Trent, I'd call him.
Okay.
I'll walk in there and give you the number.
I've got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
You got it?
Think we might get Kirwan this morning.
Yeah, that would be a bummer. I asked him about it Tuesday also. After the show, I said, hey, Friday. And he goes, no, I'm good to go. Okay.
EB, I do think that's the first question out of the gate.
Pat, how did Detroit look last night?
Nothing. I'll keep trying, but here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 3 of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Historic round 1 of the NFL draft. Most offensive players ever. 6 quarterbacks in the first rounds. Hell, 6 of the first 12 picks went in the first round. You had 3 teams who didn't have a first round pick, 3 teams who had multiple. Lot going on. Which Florida team had the best first round? Jacksonville, Miami, or Tampa Bay? I know who Mark's voting for.
Tampa Bay, baby.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, usually we have to wait till the NBA draft till Mark's pounding the table for a Duke guard. Oh, no. Not this year, baby.
That was really well done, David.
Thank you.
I like that. I'm sorry. That struck me funny.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But Dolphins go Chop Robinson, staying put at 21. They didn't trade down. Remember, they don't have a third and they don't have a fourth round pick. So maybe they just take a first rounder and a second rounder and just say, well, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Or do they now move down with their second round pick and try to accumulate more assets? And Tampa Bay took Graham Barton, the interior lineman from Duke, highly thought of, durable, plug and play guy. Good. They could use it. Jacksonville's interesting. We thought they were going to go DB. We thought, man, Trent Baalke looks smart. Trading down from 17 to 23. And Terrion Arnold still on the board. By the way, quick sidebar. Have the Eagles become the new Ravens? Doesn't matter where they are, good players find them. Think about it. The Eagles, who reportedly were desperately trying to trade up for 2 days, called half the teams in front of them, trying to move up. What did the Eagles absolutely positively have to come away with in the first round? One of the top 2 corners. Had to. Nobody does a deal with them. They're stuck at 22. And when it's their turn to pick, Mark, how many of the top 2 corners are still on the board?
2.
Have the Eagles become the new Ravens?
In a couple of ways, David, I think you're right. One is what we talked about. The Eagle effect on everybody else. No one would trade with them for fear of being duped. I mean, if they're working that hard at getting a trade and don't get one, that's team saying, I don't want to help this team out. They're smarter than we are. They're taking advantage of us. We're not going to make that move. And yet the Eagles just have a player fall right into their lap that they need.
And they went with Quinion Mitchell, the corner out of Toledo. Some people had him the best corner. Some people had Terrion Arnold from Alabama.
I will say Detroit did a great job. I mean, they went and got the corner from Tampa.
Mm-hmm. They traded for him.
And now they get the corner out of Alabama. I mean, for the weakest part of their team, they certainly improved.
Now, let me ask you this, though. Keep this in mind when you're watching them play this year. What, Carlton Davis from Tampa?
Yes.
And now Terrion Arnold. They gave up a 4th-round pick for Davis, correct?
Third.
Okay. And now they give up a 1 and a 3 for Terrion Arnold. They cost them a 3rd-round pick to move up 5 spots. I got to give Jerry Jones credit. They got the guy at 29 that they were going to take at 24. Now, we could argue, did they take the right offensive lineman? Because Green Bay took Jordan Morgan at 25, tackle Arizona. Tampa Bay took Graham Barton, interior lineman Duke. So, obviously Dallas could have stayed put at 24 and had either one of those guys. But the guy that they were linked with for weeks was Tyler Guyton, tackle Oklahoma. Well, they moved down 5 spots, picked up a 3rd, and still took Tyler Guyton, tackle Oklahoma. I mean, listen, Jerry and Stephen Jones deserve a lot of grief for this offseason. They were good last night. That's effective general managing. But Jacksonville, corner or wide receiver, they lost Calvin Ridley, but their pass defense, they invested in a pass rush, but their secondary revamped. But still, do they really have a number 1 corner? Look at the weapons they're going to have to stop in the AFC. And Terrion Arnold is right there. And he played the style of defense in college that Jacksonville has switched to beginning this year with a new DC. It looked like a perfect fit. But they went with the wide receiver, Brian Thomas. And on a lot of draft boards, Mark, it's a toss as to which guy was ranked higher on your board. The whole, we stay true to our board. Well, Mark, there's one guy that you followed, Terrion Arnold, rated 10th best player of the draft. But there are other people that had Brian Thomas rated as like the 12th or 14th best player of the draft.
Oh, and I had him as 15th. So, I mean, I don't think they lose with where they drafted and what they were able to get. Let me ask you this question, David. And I know it's just one round, but we kept going with the teams. Are they better, the same, or worse?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the 3 Florida teams, which team last night improved themselves to the point where you think it's a difference maker? Because to me, Tampa did. When you compare them to what Atlanta did, Atlanta didn't get better last night. They got better maybe for 2026, but they certainly didn't get better for this year.
Well, Tampa drafted a plug-and-play interior offensive lineman, which they need. They had a center who's below average, and they have a hole at one of the guard spots. So, tough to argue that, now, Brian Thomas, rookie wide receivers have done really well in the last half dozen years in the NFL. For the longest time, rookie wide receivers outside of like Randy Moss struggled. But now, because of the way the college game has developed, wide receivers are coming into Sundays and they're just picking up where they left off. But I would rank them Tampa, Jacksonville, Miami in terms of who helped themselves the most yesterday, because I'm not sold on Chop Robinson, and I think he's still a project.
And they need him to be a plug-and-play player, though.
Well, especially since 2 of their 4 edge rushers are coming off injury, and it's kind of like Jaden Ramsey last year. Jalen, you knew by mid-October, November, Ramsey was going to be back. But in the first part of the year, he wasn't there. That's kind of, they got a couple edge rushers coming back from major injuries in which before Halloween or Columbus Day, you're not quite sure what you're going to get from them. And Chop, in theory, is going to get better as the year goes on, but you really need him maybe in the first 6 weeks. I thought Miami was going to trade out. That I thought Miami was having a great draft because no defensive players went in the first 14, but then the edge rushers, there were 3 of them that were considered the surefire edge rushers. Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, and Latu. Okay, and they went 15, 17, 19 in no particular order. You throw in Murphy, the defensive tackle from Texas, going to Seattle at 16, and all of a sudden Miami, who an hour earlier might have been like, holy blank, look who's going to fall in our lap. Instead, they were down to the 4th best edge rusher on most people's boards in Chop Robinson. But both corners were on the board. Both elite corners were still on the board. And if you're Miami, by the way, why wouldn't you make the deal with Detroit? Detroit had to call you, right? I mean, Detroit was looking to move up for Terry and Arnold. They moved up to 24, gave up a 3rd-round pick. Miami doesn't have a 3rd or a 4th-round pick. If you're Miami, would you take Detroit's 3rd and move back 8 spots? You tell me, Mark.
100%.
I'm willing to bet my job Detroit called them. And the Eagles said no because we're taking a corner. Jacksonville had already moved down to 23, so they likely weren't going to trade out again. And Dallas at 24 said, yeah, we'll do it. But I'll bet you Detroit called Miami. How could they not? They're willing to give up a 3rd-round pick. Miami doesn't have one.
And you would think Miami would be the first team that would want to trade based on what their draft equity was going into it.
So we'll see.
My only thought is maybe 21 had already happened. You know what I'm saying? Before Detroit made the call.
Well,
to come up to 24.
Well, the other thing that may have happened is that Miami's like, we'll do the deal unless a certain player is still on the board. Because Miami made that pick in a minute and a half. Miami was jumping up and down for Chop Robinson.
Yep.
That's who they wanted.
100%. You're right, David. Based on how quickly the pick came in.
Right. So they may have had a deal with Detroit worked out unless he was still on the board. And they weren't going to pass up the edge rusher.
And we'll never know, but boy, you got to think Chop Robinson was all over boards from a standpoint of where he was ranked by different teams.
You mean like all over the place?
Yes, absolutely.
Anywhere from
top 20 to 47.
Yeah.
I'm just not crazy about see, especially in Miami's case, because What haven't they done? They haven't won yet. See, Kansas City, Baltimore, San Francisco, teams that win playoff games all the time. In the Chiefs' case, hell, they're winning Super Bowls. Even Buffalo, I would have been okay if Buffalo took a flyer because Buffalo's winning the division. Buffalo's getting to the playoffs. They're usually winning at least one playoff game. Dolphins have won a playoff game since the Clinton administration. I'm not crazy about taking projects. I need wins in January before we start taking projects.
But David, I don't necessarily disagree that he's a project, but that is the Dolphins might not feel that way.
Well, they obviously don't.
And the only thing I would say to rebut what you're talking about is that, and I'm with you, David, because I think they need him in the first half of the season before everyone's injured. But if they're right and the project starts to work out in the second half, when's he going to be at his peak in the playoffs? And now they've got multiple guys that can get after a quarterback in the postseason. That does make a difference. That's what Philadelphia did a couple years ago, David.
Well, and the other thing is the Dolphins have a couple of expensive edge rushers that they may move off of here quickly. And if Chop Robinson's the real deal, they can move off one or two of these guys. Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commission and educational presentation and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moutlon was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moutlon was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Never heard from Pat? Or
No.
still haven't heard from Pat, I should say?
Nope. And I gave him our hotline number.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if he ends up coming around, we could just have him on anytime, right?
Yes.
From here on out.
He's not coming on. Because he moved Irish football. That's really the reason. Yes, Sonny?
Just Miller.
Ditmar's line, Sonny. That's all I've got for you.
15 years, though. They were great. I highly recommend them.
They've got to be better than me. They've got to be better than me. I'm getting sick of cleaning.
By the way, so last night, like shortly after we wrapped up, brother calls me. He was in Detroit. You thought I was hooked on phonics. Whew. He took today off. Stayed with the girlfriend. She took today off.
I like that Kilo's dad went to work and just said, F this, and turned around and went home.
Yeah, Adam, I don't think there's much debate there. I think the real question is, it just comes down to whether or not you're high on Chop Robinson. If you are, then maybe you think Miami had a better draft than Jacksonville did. But I think Tampa hit a home run last night. EB, I'm sure he thought Detroit looked gorgeous.
That's probably why he had so much fun in Detroit. He was
Yes.
Oh, there's your brother. I thought Pat. Yeah, I mean, Pat probably thought Detroit looked gorgeous too.
Oh, man. After pick 24, go hit the Temple Bar. Go hit Harry's. Go hit the Red Roof. Oh.
T-Ball in the house. All right, Coach Grizzle's in a bad mood. He's a Falcons fan. So I think we have to take...
I can't imagine standing around all night in Detroit, as opposed to downtown Atlanta. I mean, I lived in Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta is nothing special.
Who was it who said earlier, they were like, did Detroit look livable? I'll tell you, if you haven't been to Detroit in the last 5 years, you got to get there. Get there again. Give it another chance.
I hear you, Coach Grizzle. We did ask that last night. I think we asked it during a commercial break earlier in this show. Is the draft something you actually want to go to? Is that something that would interest you? Like, I have no interest in going to the draft.
I've watched enough Parking Wars to never go to Detroit. I've never even heard of the show Parking Wars.
No, me neither.
I haven't either, but that's a hell of a take.
I will say I shaved in about 3 minutes this morning. I missed a spot here that I noticed and cut the hell out of my lip this morning, David.
Uh-oh.
First pull with the razor. I went, snap.
Bad start. Kind of like the Lakers last night. Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Our poll question, since 4 of our 5 affiliates are in the state of Florida, which Florida team made the best pick in the first round last night? So you got Chop Robinson, Miami, Graham Barton, Tampa, Brian Thomas Jr., the Jags. So far, Barton of Tampa, Mark's choice. And I voted for Graham Barton also. Short-term plug-and-play guy. I think he'll be more productive in his first 2 years than the other two. Hoping for the Dolphins and Jags' sake, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you want them all. You want them all to work.
Of course.
But as we went through the exercise of just contracts of teams that give a second contract to a draft pick, you've got to like where Tampa's at because the likelihood is above and beyond that he'll get a second contract.
Offensive linemen, teams have been far more accurate taking in the first round than any other position. So whatever that's worth.
21,000 is the text line if you want to chime into the show. I probably should have that up in front of me.
Yeah, let us know how you think your team did. How'd you do last night?
Especially since we asked you earlier in the week what your level of confidence was in your team's front office, basically heading into the draft. Did you think your team was going to get it right? So now that the first round's come and gone, and I can't say it enough. I mean, there's still, if you're a goober, of which I am, I mean, I love the draft. I love all drafts, though. I mean, all the leagues, I love drafts. I do. Find them fascinating, which is why it's interesting that I don't play fantasy sports. Because deep down, I'd love to be a general manager. And what is fantasy sports? You're your own GM. Makes no sense. I know. But, there are 5 teams that don't have a second-round pick. That usually means there's 5 teams that have multiple second-round picks. And there are. There are 6 teams that don't have third-round picks. There are, if I do the math here, I got 8 teams that have multiple third-round picks. Washington's got 2 2s and 3 3s today. And I'll say it again. Jaden Daniels' closest friend in the National Football League is Brandon Ayuk. He's had a friendship with him for 4 years. They talk all the time. If you're Washington, you have 2 2s and 3 3s, and the Niners are looking to unload Ayuk. I mean, come on now. I'm asking you right now, Mark, if you're Washington, would you give up a 2 and a 3 for Ayuk?
A 2 and a 3?
Yeah, 2 and a 3. Because if I'm San Francisco, if you have that many resources, I'm not going to say yes to just you offering up the high second-round pick. And remember, it's, 4th pick of the second round?
David, you might not, but you don't have a choice. And I love when you negotiate like this. I truly do. You and I would hang up on each other several times before we get a deal with a few F-bombs thrown at one another. And then we'd work it out. But your choice with Ayuk is pay him or lose him. And you can't afford to pay him. So I don't think you're in a position where you can be demanding a second and a third.
But and I get it, but here's what you can say if you're San Francisco to Washington. Well, then I'm going to trade him to Buffalo instead because their second round pick's higher than yours. You're 36, they're 33. So you got to give me something.
Okay.
So you got to give me something. You got 3 3s. Give me the 100th pick of the draft. They got the last pick, I think, in the 3rd round. Last or second to last pick, a compensatory pick. Just give it to me. Come on now.
I can live with that. The irony is that 100 pick is from San Francisco.
Yeah.
So they're trading it back to him. I mean, that is the irony there.
So, something like that. I mean, the talk is Buffalo, by moving to 33, they're in a spot. Obviously, they could be very aggressive here, either with who they're picking or trading for, et cetera. And they have a need at wide receiver. They have other needs also.
But I think as CBW points out, the receiver room in Washington's not bad.
No, it's not. But can you ever have enough? Because the other thing is, if you have 3, you can eventually let one of them go contractually. You're like, well, we don't need to pay all of them. We'll move on from one of them. One of them usually gets hurt. One of them usually doesn't keep performing at the highest level. I mean, look at Miami. They got 2 elite wide receivers. Their number 3 and 4 are not that great. I mean, they're not. And so if one of their top 2 receivers gets hurt, okay, all of a sudden Miami becomes a lot easier to defend. Teams are in the 3 wide receiver set 2/3 of the time. So, you're trying to get 3.
By the way, a few texts, a lot of people commenting about last night. Thank you for all the nice words about our draft show last night. But this guy says, I'm a huge Bills fan, and I'm not happy. Somebody better know something.
Yep. I don't blame you.
Eagles fan just simply says, great.
Who?
An Eagles fan.
Once again, they're the new Ravens, man. No matter what they do, trade up, trade down, stay put. It's like, damn, look at that player that they got.
Bears fan says he's happy. Says happy with taking the wide receiver. Keenan Allen might only be a one-year player and no depth after DJ Moore. Hope Caleb is at least 75% as good as advertised.
I will say, and if you're going to buy into this, because people can be coached up, but Caleb Williams in the last few days doing the media that he's done has not been the flighty Caleb Williams from USC the last 2 years. He hasn't. Caleb Williams in the last week mark has looked mature, has come off as an adult. I will say the Bears did something. I love what they did. Apparently, they brought him into town a week ago. They didn't go to dinner with him. You know, not Kevin Warren, the president, not the GM, not the head coach, not the offensive coordinator. You know who went to dinner with him? They let the team leaders. They said to Caleb, go to dinner with them. We'll have plenty of time to get to know you and talk to you and what have you. Go to dinner with them. I like that. All right. Let's go. I mean, because, you know, in theory, he's got more ability than he's got leadership, right? Coming in.
By the end of the year, who's going to be the best quarterback in the NFC North?
It'll be Goff. It'll be Goff. Come on. What do you think? Do you honestly think it's not going to be Goff?
At the end of the season?
At the end of the season. I'm not saying in September.
Okay, so that means, I mean, let's think about this. That would mean that Caleb Williams has a rookie of the year type impact because Goff was really good last year.
Yeah, he was. Jared Goff was the top 8 quarterback in the league last year, maybe top 6. He was very good last year. Very good. Best year of his career. Worthy of being taken first overall. That's how good he was last year. But Jordan Love's on the ascent, right? I mean,
Yes.
honestly, going forward, do you think Jared Goff's going to get any better, Trent, than he played last year?
No.
Now, not that he has to, by the way. You want 5 more years just like it.
Oh, if you get 3 more years like that, I would be ecstatic if I'm a Lions fan.
So for this next season, if you could have one quarterback in the NFC North, who would you pick?
Well, I would take Goff.
Me too.
And I was not a Goff guy coming out of college.
No, you were not.
Those who have been with the show for a while, when it was Goff or Wentz, I was Wentz.
I would take Goff, but it's closer than you think, Trent.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, I mean, I could
Now
concede that.
Now, the real question will be in like 26 and 27, who are you going to like in the NFC North?
Hendon Hooker.
Miller and Moulton.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, Mishko Blue. I'm in the process of I'm painting all 4 members of KISS. But I'm kind of putting off Gene Simmons because that's going to be hard. You know, just because I'm so OCD that I got to get the symmetry right on both sides, you know? So Paul Stanley was the easiest one to do because it's just the one side. Yes.
So did you see CJ Stroud on X last night?
No.
Live during the draft, and when San Francisco took Pearsall, he got angry. He's like, son of a blank. He's
Really?
like, he wanted him. And I don't know where the Texans have 2 second-round picks. I don't know where their first one is, but that's apparently who CJ Stroud wanted. And also Brandon Ayuk, who we've talked a lot about this morning. Ayuk sent Lynch and Shanahan a post in which, after they took Pearsall, and said, not going to lie, that's a hot pick. Or I think he called it fire. That's a fire pick. I love it. I think Pearsall and McConkey, the SEC wide receivers, the 2 from LSU, Pearsall, McConkey. Leggett's got to stay healthy. I'll say this: if he stays healthy, he's a number 2 receiver in the NFL. No, I know kids say fire these days, right? I'm 58. Well, I mean, come on. What am I going to do? Try to come off as cool, hip, trendy, happening?
Yeah.
That's fire, David.
That's fire.
Just whatever. That's tight, man.
Our draft show last night was fire. I'll tell you that much.
It was fire.
It was tight.
No, Mark's cannonball was tight.
You know what?
The show was fire.
I've not seen the video of that yet.
I'm telling you, you look like Mickelson on 18 and 04 in terms of how much elevation you got. Your daughter, you're a lot taller.
That is Mickelson. I don't even think I got air. Like I just went down, if you know what I mean.
I'm telling you, 4 inches. You got 4 inches of air off that platform.
That's Mickelson. Oh, that's embarrassing.
Your daughter got higher than you, and you're like,
absolutely.
Taller. Yeah.
EB never broke out the bass, nor did Mark break out the 6th string.
No, but we will for the 2nd and 3rd rounds tonight. No.
I would do it. You guys.
David would do it. I refuse.
I would do it. I really would. But I won't let you do it. You have a date with Appleton. Okay. You are not doing the draft.
I had to laugh. My son had a date. I think I said that to you when I was with a nursing student last
Really?
night. Yeah. I'm like, what is it with the young men in my life and nurses these days?
Got to make sure everything's working. All right, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. You look like you were about to say something. You okay?
No, I'm not. During the commercial break, watched my cannonball into the pool.
For those that
was
weren't
embarrassing.
Well, for those that weren't with us last night, we signed on a few minutes before 8 o'clock. Mark and his soon-to-be 10-year-old daughter christened our live draft show by doing, because Mark did the show from his back lanai, and they have a beautiful pool and beautiful lighting and what have you. And so, they cannonballed into the pool. And it was cool. It was fun. And Mark was like, "How was it?" And I said, "Well, I'm not doing this just to be snarky," which I know is what you're going to think, but you kind of looked like Mickelson on 18 and 04. You got about 4 inches off the platform there.
Yeah, I don't know if you could have been able to put a Bonita Springs phone book underneath that jump. It was pitiful.
There was not a lot of air. No.
I need a personal trainer. I mean, what I learned during the commercial break is that, I already knew I was terribly out of shape. I'm fat. And athletically, I always felt like you, David, I could get the foul ball. I'm not asking for much.
Right.
I'm asking for 3 steps.
Exactly. You look at people and you say, "Listen, I'm a little more agile than you think." That's what I tell people all the time. I'm a little more agile than you think, and I'm a lot tougher than you think. I know I look soft. I'm actually not. Take it for what it's worth. But Mark, if you think about it, the only exercise that you get is stepping down off of the golf cart onto the grass. I mean, and that's basically what you did last night, cannonballing into the pool. You treated it like, "Oh, I'm getting out of the cart."
Johnny Mack, it looked like you tripped into the pool. And I have nothing for that.
No.
I would love to say, "Oh, really?" No, you're right.
You were like a stone too, man. You just went down. Boom. Gravity was at work. As soon as you stepped off that platform, there was no up. It was just boom, down.
Well, and I don't think, I think the funniest part is you did it right next to your daughter. So there was the comparison of her performance as opposed to yours.
She's an athlete.
Yes.
Exactly. And you're like a foot and a half taller than her, and yet she got high. Her head was higher off the ground than yours, because she's got some spring in her step. And, right. She vaulted up a couple feet in the air. Right.
I need to hire a personal trainer.
You sunk like a stone last night. You did.
Did you touch the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Quickly, I might add.
How deep is it?
Not deep.
6 feet?
No.
5 feet?
I think 5.5 at the deepest point. There's not an area where I can't stand in my pool, and I'm 5'8". But it was a pathetic. And the problem is that that's there. Like, I'm not going to go delete that broadcast. And anybody wants to see how pathetic I look, twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton has it.
Right.
Can't run from that.
At least you were smart. You kept your shirt on. Okay. You wanted to protect the viewers. Even though we're on Twitch, you were fearful of an FCC violation. I get it. That's good. So yeah, for next year, maybe the goal is a little more air on the cannonball next year.
I'm totally with you. This is like Eisen running the 40 at the combine. I've got to work hard to get ready for next year's cannonball.
You got to train like Portnoy, does. We have to start gambling like Portnoy. Man, He's on a roll.
We are on a roll, David.
We sure are. Do you know what our picks are like lately? Like your cannonball last night. It's just straight down.
It's not true. We made 2 bets. We made 3 bets. One was a silly dollar parlay that didn't hit.
Well,
we made 2 bets on games. We won them both last night.
Yeah, that's true. We did. Well, we've had about 6 bad weeks in a row here. It's about time. Got to snap out of it.
Are we betting the White Sox?
No.
Oh, Mark will not let me throw good money after bad teams. He won't. Trent, we were doing our regular Friday picks during the college football season many, many years ago, and Mark just went on a sidebar with me on the air. Why do you continuously bet on bad teams to cover? And I looked right at him like, it really doesn't make sense now that you say it like that. Dude, no, it doesn't. Stop.
David, he's given me the same sidebar.
Yep.
Many
Totally.
a time.
Yeah, well, think about it. You kept betting on the Pistons, and we kept going, what are you doing? So how'd your team do? 21,000 on the text line. How'd your team do last night? Bears fan, Bills fan, Vikings fan. You traded up twice. You've traded a ton of draft assets in this year's draft and next year's draft for those 2 first-round picks that you took last night. And then you traded up twice, giving up plenty of middle, 4th, and 5th-round picks in multiple drafts to do so, to move up 1 spot and 6 spots. And you come away with basically the Houston Texans draft from last year. Your quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, your edge rusher, and Dallas Turner. And the Texans got it at 2-3. You did it at 10-17. And you gave up a lot of draft equity to do it, though.
But many think, if it's a great comparison, David, because if you were to look at Houston last year at this point compared to Minnesota this year before the draft, whose roster is better heading into the season? I think it would be the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we undervalued Houston's roster and the job that Nick had done in the offseason, putting it together. Absolutely. First off, we didn't think C.J. Stroud was going to be that good that quickly. I mean, that's one of the 5 best seasons a rookie quarterback's ever had. I mean, it was amazing.
But J.J. McCarthy's a winner, David. So, I mean, this is an easy transition for him. He's won everywhere he's at. So now he's just going to walk into Minnesota and win, right?
I sense a little snark there.
Just a touch.
I sense a little attitude. I will say this. I love his coach. If my son was a quarterback, I would love him to go to the coach in Minnesota. I really do. And how ironic, by the way. He got the job over who?
Jim Harbaugh.
But so I do love, and I think he's the best receiver in the league, Jefferson. I do. Honestly, healthy, I would take him over everybody else. Tyreek, Jamar, I really would. One game, I get to pick one receiver, I'd take him.
Yeah, I don't think that's controversial at all. He's the real deal.
Now, he just played behind a better offensive line in college than the one he's got on Sundays, so that's going to be a problem. But okay.
He's got 2 receivers. He's got a good tight end that's coming back from injury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, think about it. He's got Jefferson, he's got Jordan Addison, and he's got Hawkinson when Hawkinson comes back. And he's got a really good coach and play caller.
But he's used to that offense where they run the ball a lot. And what does Minnesota have at running back?
No, not much.
And what do they have at offensive line, more importantly?
I think that's interesting, I mean, you're basically asking him to change his play style.
And here's the other thing. Minnesota does not have a 2nd-round pick and does not have a 3rd-round pick. The Vikings will not be selecting today unless they give up even more future draft capital to move back into a pick today.
So they sold out in the moves they made.
Mhm.
2 drafts.
Now, I'll say this. 2 things have happened here in the last couple days. So St. Brown gets $30 million a year on an extension. And an hour before the draft yesterday, the Eagles gave A.J. Brown 32 a year for 3. 3 for 96. So what do you think Justin Jefferson's getting? Seriously. I mean, so if you're the Vikings, you're paying your receiver and you're not paying your quarterback. But think about what you're now going to have to pay Justin Jefferson.
What did St. Brown get? 77 guaranteed. Brown got what guaranteed?
I don't know what the guarantee
There's more guaranteed money, I thought.
Okay, well, the extension was 3 for 96. So maybe they guaranteed most of it. But just think about what you're going to have to do for Jefferson. First off, Jefferson younger than both. Jefferson, I think, is going to want a longer-term deal. I mean,
he's going to want 5 years.
Well, and you're going to have to give him at least 4, and you're probably going to have to give him around 35. I mean, you're probably going to have to do 4 for 140.
But you've got the quarterback on the right contract to be able to do that.
And you're going to have to guarantee 100 of it to sign him to the extension. But yes, it's okay. You got a rookie quarterback, so we can do this. And the cap's going up 25 plus million a year every year. I'm telling you, the cap is not going to be the issue that it's been, especially coming out of the pandemic when the cap actually went down for like the only time ever. This league is swimming in money. Swimming in money. These $50 and $55 million deals for the quarterbacks, please, I know I'm wrong about a lot. They're not going to be that big a deal going forward. They're really not. I mean, when the cap's $320 million in 3 years, so what? The quarterback's making 51. He's 16, 17% of your cap. Big deal. But just curious, how do you think your team did? You know, Giants fans, you didn't take McCarthy. You didn't take Penix. You took the wide receiver. When do you think you're ever going to be in as good a position to replace Daniel Jones as you were last night?
But David, you're a Giants fan. You didn't love any of those options.
I didn't. And I love Neighbors as a player. Love him. But once again, you're going nowhere without a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. Please explain to me when they're going to be in position to get a quarterback. Because unfortunately, they're going to win just a few too many games. That's the problem. They're going to keep winning 6, 7 games.
Yeah,
Maybe
I was
next year.
surprised more than anything that I would love to know what the offers were because, you know, the Patriots apparently had offers to trade out of 3. The Cardinals had offers to trade out of 4. You have to think the Giants had offers to trade out of 6. I mean, you have to think that the Vikings were at least talking to these teams and would love to know what type of offers were made for teams to not accept them. But I think you and I thought there was about 4 times that there were perfect opportunities for teams to trade down, and it didn't happen last night.
Apparently 2 teams called up the Chargers and wanted Justin Herbert. Now, it wasn't last night, but it was leading up to last night. And the Chargers went, no, stop it. Enough already.
I don't blame teams for doing it, though.
No.
When the head coach is saying J.J. McCarthy's the best prospect in the draft,
right?
You've got to at least make the phone call.
Sure.
I don't know if it's just my algorithm on X, but what I'm seeing, Vikings fans are disgusted. Not just McCarthy, but their approach to the draft, like David laid out.
Well, listen, and Pat and I have been saying it together, you know, so it sounds as if one of us got it from the other, but we actually both came to the conclusion separately. We're not a fan of the GM in Minnesota. For as much as I love the coach, that's how much I don't like the GM. I mean, the draft assets that he's given up, okay, and letting Kirk Cousins walk for nothing. And I mean, they've gone backwards as far as I'm concerned. what that roster looked like in 2022 versus what that roster looks like in 2024, I think they've gone backwards, and they have no draft capital going forward. But if J.J. McCarthy can play, they'll be fine. Eventually.
Do you think he can play? You think he'll be a serviceable NFL quarterback, right?
Yes, I do. I think he'll even be a little better than that. I think he has some potential. I think he has the potential to be as good as Jared Goff.
So funny. That's exactly the comp I was going to give you.
But a lot of what makes... Go ahead, David.
I also think he's in the right situation. Like, they signed Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold can go out there and get his brains beat in for half a season this year. They don't have to throw JJ on the field until they think he's ready.
A lot of what made Jared Goff so great last year was that O-line.
And they don't have that in Minnesota.
And by the way, when he was taking the Rams to a Super Bowl, they had a really good offensive line. And Sean McVay. Coaching. We don't talk about it enough. It's pretty important.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moutlon was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moutlon was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moutlon on the Florida Sports Network.
So Michigan go blue. We know where your loyalty is who's going to be the best quarterback in the NFC North at the end of the 2025 season?
Joe, how about if you don't give the Bills the benefit of the doubt? How about if you just speak from your head and heart? Don't just give them the benefit of the doubt because they wear the, helmet that you root for. Who did you want? What did you want to see them do? Oh, SEC me, whenever the time comes that I go to take a nap, it'll be a 2-hour nap minimum. It could be longer. And so it will vault right over nap to sleep.
You might have a dream.
Yeah, I will say I don't put the sleep machine on when I nap. So no, I very rarely do the recliner nap. I have, I don't intentionally do the recliner nap. Put it that way. We're the hockey players of talk radio. Thanks. I will say I do not like what the Bengals did. I don't like Mims. And I thought they should have taken defense. I'll be honest. If you're going to go Mims,
So JJ, you're predicting that JJ is going to be Cousins.
Very
no,
many years.
No, fam. My bedroom doesn't black out like a hotel.
Mine does. We got the blackout drapes just for that
Shades.
reason.
Okay, here we go.
Here, 3, 2, 1.
Here.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the fourth and final hour of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Thanks so much for being with us, basking in the glow of the first round of the NFL draft and our 4-hour live Twitch broadcast of the draft, which is playing to good reviews. I have to admit, I don't take compliments well, and apparently people liked it. Hell, my mom even liked it.
It was fire.
Right. It was lit. It was happening.
Was
We
your
were
mom?
tight.
Your mom was okay. You didn't shave, and
Right.
that usually gets mom
I know.
bothered.
And she used the stick and had us on the TV and iPads and phones. I mean, right. Mm-hmm. But apparently it was okay. I don't know. She's going to see me in a couple of weeks, so she's feeling pretty good. Okay. It's going to be Mother's Day. I'm going to see her. So she's feeling pretty good about life. Okay. But if I don't shave by Monday, all that positivity will go away.
Get her a Joe Cocker CD for Mother's Day. That should make everything better.
That missed it. We had a conversation a couple of days ago about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Joe Cocker's not in it. My mother was outraged. Mark's like, oh, for goodness sakes, he sucks.
I didn't say he sucks.
No, you didn't, but you said
He's
wasn't
not a Hall of Famer.
No. So, also, what'd you say his best hit was
a remake?
Right.
I mean, his most famous song is a Beatles song.
By the way, Barry Manilow, do you know for all the songs that he wrote and for all the commercial jingles that he wrote, I write the songs? which
You
you
wanna-
could argue is his number one hit.
Not Copacabana.
Well, that's just it. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but maybe
That's a
beauty's
great
too strong
question.
a word.
That could be a poll question right there. I write the songs or Copacabana. Not on this station, but somewhere.
Or Mandy. Some people really like Mandy, but anyway. But by the way, State Farm jingle, okay? He wrote it. Like a good neighbor, State Farm was there at Manilow 50 years ago.
That's got staying power.
Yeah,
That's a top 10 jingle right there.
totally.
I go to the break room a couple times a show to get water. This is not coffee, by the way. It's water. And there's a Barry Manilow magnet on the refrigerator in the break room. I don't know why.
I'm surprised you didn't steal that too. Everything you have in your house comes somewhere from this building.
This is a hell of a tangent we're going on here, but I'll say it again. Okay. If you ever get a chance, okay, because I took my wife, she's a fan, and she had just had hip surgery. And so I wanted to do something fun. I took her to a Barry Manilow concert at Hertz. And the best part of his concert is when he does the 3 to 5 minute, all the commercial jingles that he wrote. And you're like, oh my goodness, you're responsible for that? Wait, that? All right. Forget I write the songs and whatever. Whatever. Number one hit. Whatever. Okay. Give me a good commercial jingle. Oh, man, you're a star.
Well, and then you realize he must really love performing, because when you hear all those jingles, it's like, he doesn't need the money
Right.
to perform.
No, that's good
But
point.
at the time he did, though. At
No,
the
I
time,
mean,
he
doing
did.
it now is what you mean.
Exactly. But so how do you think your team did? Like, I'll give you a pick I didn't like. We were talking about it during the break. I did not like the Bengals pick of Mims. First off, I'm really concerned about Mims. Nick Saban talked about it on the draft coverage last night. How come he only started 8 games? You just took a guy 18th overall in the draft. He started 8 games. In his college career, he started 8 games. I understand, big guy, Georgia. They got a good track record recently. He can't stay healthy. Nick Saban said, here's what concerns me. He said, we played them in an SEC title game. He took himself out after 15 plays. He never went back in. He goes, how hurt was he? He said, but all I know is he doesn't stay on the field. He doesn't get on the field. Am I really going to bet that this guy is going to be a productive, durable NFL player? And the other thing that concerned Nick, for what it's worth, I mean, we all make huge mistakes, but Nick said, he came from a really small school where he was just far and away the biggest guy around. Nobody tested him in high school. And then he got to Georgia and he couldn't stay on the field, couldn't get on the field. I mean, I hate the Mims pick at 18. All the defensive players that the Bengals could have taken, if they wanted to take an offensive lineman, oh my goodness. Fatanu was still on the board. For goodness sakes, Morgan, Barton. I mean, I hate the Mims pick for the Bengals at 18. Now, I think the Bengals were heartbroken when Seattle took Byron Murphy at 16. I think that's who they wanted, but they couldn't take another defensive lineman. I would have taken Darius Robinson of Missouri, and I know people would have freaked. Oh, my goodness, what are you doing taking him at 18? That's too high. I'm telling you right now, Robinson has a far better career than Mims. He's a better player, and he's durable. Love that
Mims
pick, by
or
the way.
Chop Robinson? Which pick concerns you more, David?
Mims. He can't get on the field. Chop just doesn't perform when he's on the field, to my liking. But he gets on the field.
The best ability is availability.
Right. Tony Dungy's line. Most important ability is availability. I mean, seriously, it's a first-round pick. Guy started 8 games. Was at Georgia more than 1 year. 8 games. Listen, when Nick Saban publicly is expressing concerns about a player, and these coaches don't like to rip anybody, except for Belichick and Drake May.
Belichick apparently annihilated May's footwork and did this before the Patriots took him, knowing the Patriots were going to take him.
Of
It
course.
is It is a schoolgirl fight between Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick at the highest level right now. They are in 6th grade, and they are arguing over who has the prettier dress. It is something.
If Belichick had done this last night, and he's too professional, but after the Falcons took Penix, all right, if Belichick had said to Pat McAfee, Pat, I need a few minutes. I need to call Arthur Blank. And then Pat go, really? He goes, yeah, I want to say, so you sure you don't want me? Is it too late? I mean, because did you see the video of the GM? Arthur Blank walked in. Did he not walk in and say to the GM, WTF?
Exactly.
You almost wonder, it was so spontaneous and made such little sense that you almost wonder if it was a mistake.
No, it wasn't a mistake. Not to the GM, who may not be employed next week. You talk about putting your job on the line.
Right.
And then he's explaining, listen, Cousins going to be 36 in August. All right, it's the same age that Favre was. You know, Favre turned 36 in October of Rodgers' rookie year. We're doing just what Green Bay did with Rodgers. But meanwhile, what Arthur Blank's looking at him and saying is, I'm 83 years old. And the Packers had won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Arthur Blank's like, look, man, I'll give you all the money you need. I'm 83. I just want to hoist the Lombardi, but you got to clue me in a little bit on this kind of stuff. What the hell just happened?
First off, how does the owner of the team not know who they're taking in the first round? By the way, he's 81. He turns 82 in September. But honestly, for as much fun as we make of Jerry Jones, and with a lot of good reason, and Jerry at least knows who the hell the Cowboys
but Jerry's
are
the
taking.
GM owner. There's a little Arthur Blank lets his guys run the team.
I get it, but what owner doesn't know who they're picking right before they pick them? He walked in that room.
Atlantis.
He walked in that room as shocked as Falcons fans were. I mean, I got to admit, if I own an NFL team, I understand I need to let the experts handle things. I think I'm entitled to ask, hey, before you put the card in, who are we writing on it?
Not to mention, you didn't at least pick up the phone with the Minnesota Vikings and trade back?
Right. You sure we can't move down to 11 and get Penix? Are you sure?
Well, and these are the moments where I am very grateful for cell phones and video, because that is a hilarious clip.
It really is.
I'm telling you, if I'm Arthur Blank, I would have walked in the room and I would have said, you do know I said no to Belichick for you morons, right? I'm going to go and check your contracts right now and see how much money I'm responsible for, because I'm going to get Belichick in here probably before round 2.
Is this strike one for this GM, or is it like already you're in an 0-2? You're in an 0-2 ball?
Unbelievable. But then again, he's making the argument. Listen, we're doing what Green Bay did twice. Okay. Of course, the difference is Rodgers was 23 and Love was 26. I don't mean age. I mean where they were taken in the draft. The other thing is they've spent a lot of resources lately, high resources on offensive players. This was an opportunity to do something at the line of scrimmage defensively.
Which, by the way, they could have still done at 11.
Right. As it turned out, because the defensive player didn't go till 15.
I mean, we are all sitting there last night waiting for Atlanta to select a defensive player, and Penix comes out of nowhere.
That seemed like the obvious. Here's what it says to me, though. They're very confident that they can not only win that division, that's what they believe. They think they can win 12 games and compete in the NFC and maybe go to the Super Bowl. They truly believe that if they're using the 8th pick on the future, right?
Well, they're thinking, listen, long-term security, you have to be solid at the quarterback position. They now think they'll be solid at that position for the next 10 years. Because 10 years from now, Penix is what, 34, 35?
Right.
Basically what Cousins is now. So they're now thinking, listen, we're solid at the most important position in the game till 2034, 2035. How much grief are you going to give me for that?
But this, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but like this is unprecedented because I just looked it up. Even the Rodgers comparison, he was picked 24th. 8th?
I will say this, and David, this is something you talk about all the time. Atlanta believes they got Cousins. They're winning the division. They're picking in the 20s. They're never going to have the opportunity to be where they are in the draft to get the player that they were able to take.
But how funny is it that Atlanta, who has Kirk Cousins, drafted a quarterback in the top 10, and the Giants, who have Daniel Jones, didn't draft a quarterback in the top 10? Talk about two organizations looking at the exact same landscape completely differently.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commissioned and educational presentation, and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail
Mark
East.
Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moutlon was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moutlon was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You are listening to Miller and Moutlon on the Florida Sports Network.
For 2 months, literally. This was like childbirth. I mean, it's took forever. And so after the first day of the draft, I talked to Mr. Davis. And I said,
Hello?
"Are we gonna make a deal or not?" And he said, "Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it for your 4th." And I think we were picking like 7th in the 4th round. And so I said, "Well, we got to get the guy for a physical. We can't take his contract. We're gonna have to renegotiate his contract." And Mr. Davis said, "Well, that's your problem. You want to trade for him? Then, all right, trade. Then you get it done." I said, "All right." So I said, "Okay." Hung up the phone. This is like 11:30 at night, right after the first day of the draft. I call up Randy. Said, "Hey, Randy, it's Coach Belichick." Boom. Hangs up the phone. What? Why? I thought you were fully suited. Like, let me try this again. Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Who is this? Who's pranking me? Who is this? Bam. Hangs up the phone. Randy, this is Coach Belichick. We traded for you. What? Is this a joke? This better not be a joke. Who is this? No. This is all right. Really? I said, "Yeah, but look, we got to get this done by tomorrow at noon. goes, all right, what do I need to do? I said, you need to come up, take a physical, and we need to renegotiate your contract. It was by noon?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, well, I'm in Houston now, but I got a plane. I'll be there.
Nice.
Oh, man. So he flies, and he's there at 8 o'clock in the morning, comes in and takes the physical, the old.
Yeah. Make sure he's
okay, you're good. Renegotiate the contract, and we're done at 10 o'clock. And first thing he says to me is, where's the playbook?
Oh, that's awesome.
I said, well, right here. I mean, we got it. Let's go. He said, okay, because when I walk out there with the first team with Brady, I got to know all the plays. I can't go out there and make mental errors and screw up. I got to know his offense. And he was smart, man. This guy was smart. And so I sat down. I watched a lot of film with him. I said,
So Kevin O'Connor, NBA guy, he tweets out, the Nuggets are just on another level. And this meme page retweeted it, like quote tweeted it, and said, me at McDonald's, age 4. The Nuggets are on another level. I just think that's funny.
Cute. Having some more Black Velvet.
Oh, it's Friday.
Guy sent out a really good tweet. I know it's not called that anymore. He said, how about Ricky Pearsall's decision to come back to Florida for one more year? Last year, he would have been a late round pick. This year, he becomes a first rounder. He's going to earn $12.3 million with a $5.7 million signing bonus. Business decision. So Greer said that 4 or 5 teams wanted to move up to 21. And he said that the offers to him were not good enough to pass on Chop Robinson.
Okay.
They like Chop.
Also, apparently Miami seriously was looking into trading back into the first round after picking Chop for somebody. Couldn't pull it off.
What grade do you give the Miami Dolphins front office? All risk. Thanks for tuning in. It was fun. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes after the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Lightning in a 3-0 hole. And Mark, do you feel as if this is like Golden State, that the Lightning are in the exact same position of where the Warriors are? Probably the end of their run, but Golden State still has Curry. Tampa Bay is still going to have some elite players, but does it feel like the end?
It really does, because of how they're being beat. They're simply just matched up against a team right now that's better than them in every area.
You mean like what Tampa used to be when they played all the other teams in the East, and those teams were on the losing end of the handshake line. At the end, they're just deeper and better than us.
And you said something that I disagree with yesterday. You said, that Vasilevsky's A game so much better than Bob's. I don't think that's the case. I think their A games are actually equal. The difference is that Bob has a B, C, and sometimes a D game. Vasilevsky never has that. He's more consistent. But playoff Bob is an A- to Vasilevsky.
Well, yeah. I mean, if Tampa Bay is not getting a huge edge in goal with what their personnel is now, then that's a big loss for them. which is why, for the record, you and I did not think the Lightning were going to have a long run. We thought they could win a first-round series. We didn't like the Florida matchup, though. We thought they would have been better off playing Boston.
And for the most part last night, what I was able to watch, it looked like they were, that Florida was able to get the D matchups more times than not they wanted against the Kucherov and point line. And Tampa is a really solid team. The slip won't be as dramatic as I think what Golden State, just about missing the playoffs this year, forced to the play-in. Tampa's still going to be a playoff team next year.
Are we sure Stamkos is coming back? You do know their next loss, he's no longer under contract. Which means that they don't have a lot of cap room. And as soon as they lose one more game, he ain't counting against the cap anymore.
David got the Dolphin fans riled up earlier, and now he's getting the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Well, no. Hold on now. Okay, best player in franchise history. Steven Stamkos?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. And that's saying something because, they've had Hall of Famers, and he's playing with about 4 of them. So it's a legitimate question, best player in Lightning history. But I agree, it's Stammer. Mark, what does he wear on his jersey?
He wears the Captain C. Kind of a big deal.
In that sport, it's a very big deal. And they're going to ask him to take a significant discount. How would you feel? Just how would you feel?
Betrayed, bewildered.
Yeah, right. How would you feel if you're Stamkos? By the way, did you just score 40 this year?
And other teams will pay him. That's the other part of it. They're going to want him to take a discount. He'll be able to get far more on the open market than what Tampa's going to be able to pay him.
Now, he's not the two-way player that he was at all. In fact, I think Stamkos was minus 20 this year. Now, he's not Ovechkin bad as a two-way player anymore, but he's not the two-way player that he was. But also, I think he was asked to do too much this year. They don't have the horses like they had to. I think Cooper had to play him more and in more spots than ideally you would. But you're right, Mark. There's contenders out there. What do you think Carolina would pay for Steven Stamkos? What's Carolina missing? Steven Stamkos. What do you think the Rangers would pay to get their hands?
Hey.
They'd trade Jacob Trouba yesterday to put Stamkos on that team.
What would Detroit pay? No, I'm not messing around.
No, I know.
They're a team that's on the come trying to make the playoffs. What are they missing?
Because I don't think he's Kane back.
They should.
Now, obviously, he's only played one place. Loves it in Tampa. He's retiring there. Even if he ends his career somewhere else, he's retiring in Tampa. He ain't going anywhere. The weather, the taxes, the lifestyle, the whole deal. But they're going to ask him to take a significant cut. You're a legend. You're the best player in franchise history. I'm the flippin' captain.
How many cups? 2?
4 finals.
4 finals.
By the way, the first cup, all right, he who had no business playing, had major surgery, had no business playing, played, scored the game-winning goal in Game 6 to win the cup.
He's tougher than nails.
Yes.
He really is.
He's the soul
For an
of the
elite
team.
scoring player, he's
the soul of the team. Are we sure we're going there for Tampa?
I think he's back in Tampa. For what it's worth.
Who do you think has the hand? I mean, this GM made no bones about it. He broke off negotiations a year and a half ago. He's just like, we'll play this out. I mean, listen, Stamkos is much better.
By Boston, they wouldn't want him they wouldn't want a leader like that in Toronto.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Mitch Marner or Steven Stamkos?
Oh, come on. Mitch Marner, soft as baby poo.
Exactly. And in the playoffs does nothing.
Because he's soft.
I'm with you. I'll take an older, slower Stamkos yesterday. Totally.
But David, to your point, I think that's an interesting wrinkle in this, is that the current GM for the Lightning is not the guy who built the teams that won the cups.
Well, but he inherited
Been there.
He's responsible for a good chunk of this roster, though.
Yes, he is.
But he took it over. My point
There's
is
no doubt Yzerman built the foundation, but he's the one that he was there when they got over the hump. They got to the finals with Stevie Y, but they got over the hump with the current guy.
And if they're going to turn the page, that would be one heck of a way to start it, by either asking Stamkos to take a pay cut or not bringing him back, which they will. But
I made the Golden State Tampa Bay Lightning analogy. And so people are going to bring up Klay Thompson, Steven Stamkos. No. Stamkos is much closer to Steph than Klay Thompson. Much closer. I'm just saying, one more loss, he's a free agent. And the Lightning have not seriously negotiated with him for a year and a half. Clearly, the GM has an idea about the future. I'm only going to bring him back at a certain rate. You're Stamkos. First off, you took a discount to stay. All those guys did. Hedman, Vasilevsky, Stamkos, they all took $2-3 million a year less to stay. The Lightning sold them on, let's keep this group together. No state taxes. Okay? Where would you want to be? We're going to win. The lifestyle. They all took less. McDavid didn't take less. Matthews ain't taking less. Stamkos took a lot less.
Right. He's got 3 goals in 3 games in the playoffs, too.
He's doing his part.
I don't know how you let him go.
I'm with you. But the GM doesn't seem moved.
The GM's trying to rebuild this on the fly and doesn't want to do it with Stamkos.
Or doesn't want to do it paying him $8+ million a year. And Stamkos is looking at him going, you do know I have about 600 goals, right? I just scored 40. By the way, who's been a bigger factor in this series, me or Braden Point?
Who?
Me or Kucherov?
Right.
I'm sorry. How old am I again? I needed to get that out there because the season might be over by the next time we're on the air. That's all. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was a boost, a sprinkle, whatever.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moutlon was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moutlon was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So Caleb Williams jerseys beat Caitlin Clark last night for Fanatics.
Wow. Is he wearing number 1 or 13?
I'm guessing 13, but if you redo remember earlier in the starting 5, I said the SEC had 11, the Pac-12 had 8, the Big Ten had 4. Okay, now if we redo it based on what the conference alignments will be in 70 days, SEC 14, Big Ten 10, ACC 4, Big 12 1, Mountain West 1, MAC 1, Notre Dame 1.
Who came from the MAC?
The Toledo kid.
Oh,
corner,
okay.
Mitchell.
Yeah. Caleb Williams is wearing 18 for the record.
He's wearing 18?
18.
Orlovsky looked like he's not been to sleep yet.
He always kind of looks like that, though. He's got heavy eyes.
Yeah.
Naturally, you
Yeah.
know, he's got really. But I'm sure you're right. He probably hasn't slept. New Motley Crue song at noon.
It's going to be terrible. Terrible.
I'm sure it will be.
Kickstart my gut.
It's called Dogs of War, is what it's called, which is just an obnoxious name for anything, let alone a Motley Crue song in 2024. But I'm sure I'll love it.
How? How can you say that? How can you take what was a really good heavy metal band, hair band, and say that their song 30 years after their fame is going to be good? It's not.
We shall see.
No, we shall not see. We're not going to see nor hear. I'd rather listen to Taylor Swift than the new Motley Crue song.
And that's saying a lot coming from you, although your daughter is a Swiftie.
Yes, she is.
Okay, let's finish strong.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the home stretch, 22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. We used to call it the Diamond District bonus hour. Well, for Jacksonville and Southwest Florida, it is. It's the fourth hour that no one else gets. So I guess we can still go with Diamond District bonus hour, right?
Absolutely, we can.
Okay.
Mother's Day's coming up. Another reason to go to the Diamond District.
And you can win Mother's Day just like Mark won Christmas months ago at the Diamond District.
If you win either Christmas or Valentine's Day, do you have to win Mother's Day?
You should.
Well, I get that. I know. I mean, constant marriage is a lot like, recruiting. You're constantly recruiting your roster. You are. I get it. It's just that hopefully your marriage has more than 4 or 5 years of eligibility. Okay. So, yes. But I get it.
You're looking for that second and third contract, if you know what I mean.
You're looking for more than that. Okay. Unless you're going really long term with those contracts.
Well, they're baseball contracts.
Oh, okay. So they're fully guaranteed, is what you're saying. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. I was just wondering, though, if you've won Christmas and or Valentine's Day, do you then have to come back and win Mother's Day?
Probably not, but you want a medal.
There's a lot less pressure on Mother's Day, right? If you win Christmas and or Valentine's Day. But that doesn't mean you should just take it off.
It depends. Moms are like dads in this sense. We want different things for our day. Sometimes we want TLC. Make me feel special. Okay. Sometimes it's like, it'd be really great. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I think part of my wife's dream Mother's Day would be for me to take my daughter and leave the house for the entire day and just let her have the place to herself in quiet.
Would it make it like a weekend? Like maybe you take her Friday night and go. And so she gets a Friday night, all day Saturday night, and you come back and you show up at like church Sunday.
I think that would be an ideal weekend for my wife.
And then, you do the church, you go out and you eat. You've got some flowers for her.
A better idea for my wife would be this show to sell a few sponsorships. And her work one day less. I think that would be the ideal Mother's Day.
So, didn't realize Mother's Day somehow involved Miller and Moulton.
It's amazing how these things happen.
Once again, we are negatively affecting a lot of things, aren't we? Our lack of success is really getting in the way, isn't it?
It's becoming a disturbing trend, David.
Oh, is that what we are? 18 years, we're a trend? Is that it? I mean, listen, I understand she wants this show to be more successful. A, so do we. But B, I mean, you look at her and go, I was with David when we met. I mean, this has kind of been, this isn't new. We were joined at the hip when we met. You signed on. I don't know what to tell you. This is your fault.
You guys are almost on your third baseball contract. 18 years, right?
Yeah.
When are you going to
We're
start?
looking for one long-term contract left. That's
Right.
it.
We're like Stammer, though. Okay, we're looking for one more deal from the Lightning. Not sure if we're going to get it.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Man, I've got to tell you, this is the messiest writing I've ever had for this. I wonder why. We start in 1931. Lou Gehrig hits a home run, but in rounding the bases, passes a runner that's on base and is called out. It would cost him the home run crown for the season, as he would end up tying Ruth for the number of home runs in the year. Today in 1961, Roger Maris hits his first of 61 home runs on the season.
Think about that. He didn't homer till late April. I mean, the season started like 2 weeks earlier. He got off to a slow start that year. Also hit 13 home runs against the 2 expansion teams. It was the first year the American League expanded in a long time. 13 of his 61 homers were against 2 new teams.
Brett Auerbach retires from the Celtics today in 66 as head coach.
Gave the gig to Russell.
1983, John Elway, selected number 1 overall by the Colts.
It's a great 30 for 30. It really is.
The Chernobyl disaster began today in 1986. The baseball season began today in 1995.
Right. It didn't start on time after the 94 strike.
2008, the Miami Dolphins select Jake Long with the first overall pick of the draft.
Instead of Matt Ryan. But see, everybody, they go 11-5. They win the division. Tony Sperano and what was the offense?
The Wildcat.
And, won the division over the Patriots and Brady because Brady got hurt. And everybody said Parcells and everybody were a genius. And they didn't have a winning season together again, Parcells and Sperano. And Atlanta still had Matt Ryan.
Andrew Luck selected first overall today in 2012. Baker Mayfield selected first overall in 2018. And also today in 2018, Bill Cosby was found guilty. Carol Burnett is 91 years old today, and Aaron Judge is 32. And that's all I've got. What did I miss, David?
All right, a couple of things. First of all, I just want to tell Carol Burnett jokes. I don't want to give, she described labor pains as take your bottom lip and pull it over your head. All right. Carol Burnett says, if you talk to God, you're religious. If God talks to you, you're schizophrenic. All right. I'll stop there. Studio 54 opened today in 77.
Did your mom ever go to Studio 54? I know you didn't. I
don't believe so. I'll ask her. I don't believe so. My mom was not. It's funny. She was into the Village People, went to the garden dressed as one of the Village People to see the Village People. But you got to remember, 79, 80, 81. I mean, we were doing a lot of drugs in this country. People getting dressed up as an Indian or a construction worker, riding the subway into the city. People didn't even blink. So, those 2 lovebirds, Maria Shriver, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Happy anniversary! Are they still together? Because, she's very Catholic. I don't know if she's officially divorced him or not. Okay. Happy 38th anniversary. Okay, so you haven't been together for 10 years and he fathered a child with your maid. But happy anniversary. No?
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
Gold is falling from the sky. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
$6,000 worth of gold is falling from the sky every single day. The only problem, it's coming off of an active volcano in Antarctica. But tiny crystals of gold are spewing from this volcano. And scientists say it's about 80 grams of gold a day. That's worth about $6,000.
So let me get this straight. We were just talking about how Miller and Moulton's not successful enough. We're not generating enough revenue. So if we take this show on the road and we go to Antarctica, all right, we get a power supply and some internet. We do the show, and then we go out and we catch the gold.
Let's ask David Sampson. He'd probably be game to go.
He'd probably run a marathon while we were hoisting the gold. Yes, exactly.
I mean, for $6,000 a day. Now I'm assuming that's the whole day. We're obviously, I'd still $3-4 grand a day, Mark. I don't know about you, but I could split that. I really
Absolutely.
Could.
For the
okay, so we have to go to Antarctica. All right. So
right.
And I have to admit that's problematic. That's not ideal. Okay. And, it's funny when you live in Florida, you snowbird, but very rarely do people snowbird with Antarctica. It's usually Michigan or Ohio.
Just keep going south.
For the bad, we go to Everett, Washington, where an Everett woman drove to the ferry booth in an RV and shut the whole ferry down because she was going to drive the ferry into the water. Police were called. They eventually had to shoot pepper ball rounds through an open window to get her out of the RV, where she was evaluated and transported to the hospital for a mental health evaluation. She was given a DUI on the scene as well.
So the RV on the ferry was going to sink the ferry?
They wouldn't let her on the ferry, so she threatened to drive it off the dock. Shut down the ferry for 3 hours. Finally, the ugly, we come a little closer to home and go to Glades County, where Joshua Kalatka was under investigation for stealing a boat. He tried to leave his residence disguised as a woman, and police found him and arrested him while in disguise. The wig and the dress looked fantastic on the 33-year-old. Apparently, not only did he steal a boat, he also stole a John Deere tractor. Or a John Deere Gator.
So is that what gave it away? The dress and the wig is fine in a boat, but the tractor was just a bad look?
Totally. And that, David, is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, April the 26th, 2024.
Everybody's playing in baseball. Marlins are home for the Nats. And they're a heavy favorite. Should a 6-20 team be a heavy favorite against anybody not named the White Sox?
No.
The Rays are on the road. They're on the south side in Chi-Town. By the way, speaking of Chicago, Caleb Williams sold more jerseys last night than Caitlin Clark did.
That's pretty good.
That's impressive. It tells me Chicago's all in. Rays against the White Sox. White Sox have lost 7 in a row. They're 3-22. Tampa's minus 230. You sure we don't want to bet the Sox?
I was going to say we want to bet the Rays. Are you kidding me? How many games have the White Sox won?
That would be 3.
3, David.
I know. They're going to win their 4th before this month's over. I can feel it. So there's actually 2 really terrific series. You could argue one of them, in fact, maybe both of them, couple World Series previews. Cleveland and Atlanta. They already, hey, the Guardians are 18-7. The Braves are 17-6. These are the 2 best records in baseball.
The Guardians are playing way over their skis.
Okay.
In my opinion, I don't know.
Here's the deal, though. They're already 11 games above 500. If they play 1 game over 500 the rest of the year, that's 87 wins. How many wins do you think it's going to take to win the Central?
85.
See, that's the problem with a great start like that. They play 500. They play a game over 500, 87 wins. 1 game under, 86. Is Detroit or Minnesota going to get to that? I don't think the Twins got there last year. Didn't they win it with 85 last year?
They did.
Yankees Brewers, by the way. Second best records in each league. Yankees are in Milwaukee. They played in the World Series when it was the Yankees and the Milwaukee Braves some 65 years ago. But so anyway, 2 good baseball series if you're interested. Got the hockey. All right. I mean, come on now. Got 4 games. Rangers 2 up on Washington in Washington. Vancouver and Nashville's 1-1. Vancouver's goalie's out for the playoffs, apparently. Demko. Winnipeg, Colorado's 1-1. Series shifts to Colorado. Edmonton, LA Kings 1-1. Series shifts to LA. NBA 3 games tonight. Right now, my $20 to win the series. Bucks or Pacers? Who you taking?
Pacers.
Bucks.
They're not sure Giannis is going to play again in this series.
Correct.
Remember, this is the same calf injury that KD had that he tried to nurse his way through when he came back in the 2019 finals. And what happened?
Blew
out
out
his Achilles. Right. Clippers in Dallas 1-1. Series shifts to Dallas. And Phoenix going to get back in the series against the T-Wolves? It's in Phoenix. Minnesota up 2 spit.
I think they'll win one of the 2 home games, but I think this will be done in 5.
If you like the T-Wolves tonight, they're boosted plus 185 on the money line to take a 3-0 lead in the series.
Boy, I'll tell you what. KD, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal go out in 5 in the first round. Whoo-wee. Have a great weekend. Rounds 2 and 3 of the draft tonight as well. We'll talk again Monday. Miller and Moulton.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moutlon was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moutlon was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.